Tire Studios. This is the flagship station of the world champion Boston Celtics.
Now, Breer got it.
Ask was a bomb squad coming out tonight.
WBZ-FM and HD 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Well, today is the day for the Celtics. Who will be the guest of honor at a duck boat parade through the streets of Boston. The rolling rally is set to kick off at 11 a.m. outside of TD Garden and end on Boylston Street in front of the Heinz Convention Center. We've got live coverage of the event before, during, and after right here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics. 98.5 The Sports Hub. In other NBA news, the Lakers were turned down by Danny Hurley a couple of weeks ago, so they pivoted to their second choice. NBA TV analyst J.J. Redick has reportedly agreed to a 4-year, $32 million contract with the franchise to become their next head coach. We also had a trade yesterday. Oklahoma City sent point guard Josh Giddey to Chicago for NBA All-Defensive wing Alex Caruso. The Patriots have signed running back Ramondre Stevenson to a 4-year, $36 million contract extension with $17 million guaranteed. The Red Sox had last night off. They take a 5-game winning streak into Cincinnati this evening. And in golf, Tom Kim is your leader by 2 shots after an opening round of 862 at the Travelers Championship in scenic Cromwell, Connecticut. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Al Horford.
This is Al Horford.
Al Horford catching slam.
Horford for 3.
You're listening to the home of Boston Celtics basketball. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Afraid, hello. 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 Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5. The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Are you going to the parade?
I'm going to the parade. Have you? I'm a Bostonian. I'm going to the parade.
I love a parade.
You stupid
Are you going to the parade?
I'm going to the parade. Have you? I'm a Bostonian. I'm going to the parade.
I love a parade.
You stupid
Yeah, all right, sorry. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And we're in the Tom Ferris Tire Studios. You can call us 617-779-0985. We'll get to Hardy in a second, but I was telling John, I don't want to talk about the show until 7 because it's worth doing. I was at a Boogie with the Hoodie. Did not get into bed until past 1. So I'm not in a bad mood at all. I am just when something that is has been bothering me, like it's nothing about the show or anything about you guys or anything about radio or Boston really, but when something is brought up that annoys me, I'm gonna have a lot to say about it. It's just one of those tireds. Like it's Friday, so I don't really care, so it's all right. But if you're wondering why Hardy sounds like he's next to a huge generator.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why right now. There's a man blowing water off of the sidewalk there. He's got the steel. I think that's a 600 gas-powered backpack blower. And it's a nice unit. You know, I'll give him credit for having a nice piece of equipment there, but a little loud, sir. Yeah, can't have standing water on a sidewalk because that'll evaporate in 40 minutes, sir. It'll be gone. Thank you.
I like. Are you in a tent?
Yeah.
And it's obvious you're broadcasting.
Yeah. Could not care less, that gentleman.
Well, I mean, when you're getting that kind of paycheck, you got to assume that you.
Yeah.
I would be with him too. I wouldn't care what was going on there. I'd just be like, the faster I can get this done and everyone gets off my back, I guess, the better. All right, so
to be fair, like, no, I mean, it's just workers here right now. They're not, you know.
No, I'm saying if I was him, I wouldn't care either. I would be like, I don't care what you're doing. All right, so I mean, I for us, it would be nice if he wouldn't do it. But if I was him, I would be doing the exact same thing. So who am I to say? All right, let's get this out of the way now. Where are you, Hardy?
Travelers Championship, Fred, Cromwell, Connecticut, right next door, TPC River Highlands. Got in yesterday afternoon, and I just started walking the course. You know, some people like to sit and squat and just let the game come to them. I like to kind of walk the course myself, feel like I'm a part of the game, feel the turf, feel the conditions, feel what the players are feeling. And I've never, shut up, Paulie. I've never been to this tournament before. Beautiful golf course and everything that they had told us, like, leading up to it. And when I say us, I mean me and everyone who listens to the Sports Hub Golf Club, and we are legion. They said, you know, this tournament's really easy to get in and out of. There are no shuttle buses. There's no, you know, taking you from off-site somewhere to get you here. It's true. You drive up to the course. There are big parking lots surrounding the course, so anyone who comes here, you just drive up, you park, you walk onto the course, and then you enjoy the day. And that part of it, shouldn't be understated. Because isn't that part of, like, going to any event? Like, how big of a pain in the ass is it going to be? It's not.
All right.
Not a pain in the ass.
So how were your accommodations last night?
Nice. Downtown Hartford Marriott.
Ooh.
Hey, now.
Well, now, upon check-in, they gave us cookies, like golf-themed cookies. Now, I'm a cookie guy.
So they were all white.
No. Only because they were made to look like golf balls, Fred.
That's why.
Wait a second. They did have white chocolate chips in those are for the dimples.
Yeah, because people like chocolate, but we don't want to offend the crowd by putting anything that color on anything.
Let me tell you, the lobby and the bar area of that hotel last night. Oh boy,
I was there in Hilton Head. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I left. I found myself a nice taco place, El Pollo something, not El Pollo Loco. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
But let me tell you this: is if I was at a hotel bar, staying at a hotel by myself, and the bar was packed, and there were I thought there were females there, I might even pop my head in. I don't get the drunker people are the better. The golf people drinking though, not they teach their own, but a lot of old dudes in packs. I don't care for it.
No, but I mean the people around here, the people at the tournament, are absurdly nice. All the workers, all the people walking around.
Right.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Fred. I witnessed this 3 times yesterday, as not security people, but like cops. I don't know, Hartford cops, Connecticut state troopers, whatever, walking around, walking on the grounds. A lot of them, work as details, walking with, some of the groups. And I heard multiple people either thank them, and in one case, the man went up to the police officer, shook his hand, and said, "Thank you for your service."
Oh, they're old losers, yeah.
I don't think it's a loser thing. If I'm already speaking to somebody and they say that
you're friends with cops, I'm friends with cops, you're friends with firemen, I'm friends with firemen. I don't know if I'm comfortable with "thank you for your service."
Okay, so, and it just, number one, it doesn't sound genuine when you say "thank you for your service."
Yeah.
Like I met a guy and became friends with a guy recently, and I found out after I met him that he was a firefighter because I met him under different circumstances. And after I already kind of knew him, it was more of a passing like, "Oh, you're a firefighter. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that." And that's it. These people are crossing sidewalks and walking up to cops and shaking the cops' hand. I don't even know if the cop wants to shake your hand.
No, they don't want to shake your hand. No. They don't want to be bothered. Oh, believe me. No. That's weird. It's
and I can love pudding.
And I think I can speak of it quite well for my entire life. I mean, my Uncle Vincent was the chief of the police union and a cop in Jamaica, Queens. I mean, I've known cops all around growing up. I never heard. Thank you for your service. You never went up to a cop and said thank you for your service. Wait, when the hell did that happen? Like you don't see that on like shows from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like there's not a Seinfeld where Jerry goes up to a cop and says thank you for your service.
It's true.
I mean, you know, if they're like our friend Dick Donahue, like when you're in like some crazy ass situation that like was that you got into it got into the S, then that's when you go holy moly, like that's a situation. You were in that whole marathon bombing shootout and everything else, like stuff like that. Then you go, oh my goodness, like he got all effed up in that thing. He's great now, but he got all effed up in that thing. I mean that Dick, you go like okay. Like, because even Dick, I knew him before the thing, and then after, then you got to be like, oh, dude, I mean, you took a bunch for the team here, like thank you, that but just like some guy standing there, no, that would make everyone uncomfortable. I believe. I don't know. You have friends. I know you have friends that are cops, and I have friends that are firemen and cops, nude firemen and cops. I couldn't imagine. Oh boy, I think they might slap me. If I said thank you for your service, to be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Go screw yourself.
It's kind of if you're like just a decent person, right? And it doesn't always go without saying, but it's kind of understood. It's like, wow, I'm glad you're doing that. So the rest of us don't have to be real men and women. No, you take care of all that stuff. It's kind of understood that they're appreciated, but
and I think if they're walking the Travelers Championship, I don't think they're under much danger. I don't think that it's much service as so much as detail. Oh no, I would be absolutely shocked actually.
Head on a swivel, Fred.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel.
Yeah, sure. Someone might yell during someone's backswing, and then you got to really take them down.
Ooh, they got the stimp meter going on the practice screen behind me right now. I don't know if we can get a shot of this, but this is a treat. Now,
ladies and gentlemen,
this is something you don't see all that often. Can you see what's going on down there?
The parade is going on today.
We hate to break this up, Hardy.
But stimp meter, they're rolling balls off the stimp meter to check the speed of the greens, Fred. That is cool.
Jeez, I hope this information gets back to the golfers before it's too late.
The parade, I'm sure they would like it, but no one else would. The parade is today. You're aware of this, Hardy. I know that's why they have you in Hartford.
Yeah, huh?
But the parade, and this was not Hardy's idea, in fairness to Hardy. Hardy has to be there for the station.
I'm happy to be here.
I know, but it's not like you went, hey, this is the greatest idea of the day of the parade, but...
Oh, that part of it. Well, sure.
Well, I don't want people to be under the impression that you were such a golf hard-on that you were like, screw the parade, we're just going to go broadcast from...
Cromwell, Connecticut.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
You're looking out for me, yeah.
A little bit. And the show. So it's sort of selfish, too. But the idea is that young Nikolai... we could have broadcast down there, but then it would have been in like some studio, and we would have been far away, and the show just wouldn't have been good.
Would have been very quiet for about 3 hours.
Yeah, and then also with Hardy in one location and all of us in like another location, and then so we're all being 3 locations, including Waltham, downtown, and the Travelers, and it didn't. None of the ideas the station had seemed like it would be good for for audio purposes, right? And like we weren't going to be like around the players, so I said screw that. But what we will have is young Nicholas down there checking in, and even if they're not like particularly funny check-ins, he can tell you what's going on because I know probably a million of you are going down to the parade today. So Nicholas will be down there, and also Tyler Milligan's cousin. But I don't know if we won't talk to him today, but just know on Monday or Tuesday, he's around with a sign with his grandma. And a audio of his songs. Yes, Jonathan.
Forcing Nicholas to adequately describe what is around him in clear, cohesive sentences might be worth the entertainment value alone.
There was a video. Nicholas is like got a cute baby, and as opposed to most babies, but he's got like I think it wouldn't be a baby anymore. It's a toddler. He's got a toddler, and. He put a cute picture up on Instagram of him and his toddler. I do like when people have like real little kids and you don't see them. Like it's nice to see them like getting older. So it's Nick, like he's fixing a mower, which I call into question. But there's also the kid sitting there next to him, holding onto a tool. And I swear this occurred to me. How much longer is Nick going to be smarter than him? Like, how much longer is Nick going to be better at this than his kid? Because for most of us, our kids, my son started getting better than me at a bunch of stuff like 16, 15 and a half, 16. Definitely not, book smart stuff, but he's gotten like athletically certainly way better than me. Like he can beat me at everything now athletically. It's like ridiculous. I'm thinking Nick gets outwitted by that kid. 6?
I was going to say 8, but all right.
When does he start kindergarten? 6? 5?
5 or 6. Depends.
I think that once he gets that education rolling in the school system, that he starts outwitting Nick a little bit. Like he's starting going wrong tool, Dad. Go ahead.
I do like Wallach's wondering about how Nick will be able to describe the parade because it's not like we've asked him to, hop in like a space travel. He's not Jodie Foster in Contact going to a parallel galaxy. Oh, they should have sent a poet. I can't even describe this twin nebula and all the stars and moons that I'm. No, it's a parade. There's a duck boat. Who's on it? There's another duck boat. Who's on it? Will Nick be able to pull that off?
Well, Nick doesn't even have to do that. Nick just has to say, "I'm here at such and such a place."
Let's see.
Here's how hard. Yeah,
that's a building over there.
No, not even that. Here's how hard it was to get here.
Oh,
here's around how many people are standing right now. If you're looking to come, this is crowded and this isn't. That's all he has to say. He's like, "Go, people, no people."
Okay.
All right.
Hold on, there's a caddy walking down right now. Who's that for? What is that?
Does he have his bib on? How do you know?
No, you can't. He doesn't have the bib on yet. It was hot here yesterday. Was it hot?
What's he packing? Does he look like?
He's got a Callaway tour bag, and he's got a portable TrackMan. They're gonna do a little work. Doing work is what they call it on the range here at this time in the morning at Travelers Championship.
Wow, what a novel phrase.
Yeah, I invented that.
I don't know. Yeah, you probably did.
Yep.
Doing and then work.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. All right, with Jonathan.
Yes.
What we were going to do? What happened last night?
Well, we have the parade to discuss. Joe Mazzulla was on
last night.
with the midday show yesterday, and we have. What else do we have? Not much happened last night, Fred. JJ Redick is partnering up with his podcast buddy. We had a trade in the NBA, and the Patriots got some work. They were doing some work yesterday. They got a contract.
Well, that sounds like an awful lot more than like the last couple of days, you moron, you fool. All right. Hardy's over there at the Travelers.
I sure am. There's a garbage truck. Thank you for your service.
All right. There you go. Thank you for your service. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy's over at the Travelers Championship. Nick is out at the parade. Johnny boy, what's coming up?
Well, we had no Stanley Cup Finals, no basketball, and no Red Sox, no actual games to speak of. But fortunately, we do have a parade to discuss. The Celtics have won a championship. They've taken the Larry O'Brien Trophy to Miami for 24 hours for some reason. The head coach has taken it to the North End for a meet and greet. But today, the trophy and the team will be on duck boats for a rolling rally through the city. Joe Mazzulla, the guest of the Zolak and Bertrand show yesterday morning here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, told the guys he's used to this kind of ride.
Joe, you ever been on a duck boat?
So the staff, we did a duck boat tour. We kind of spoke it into existence, and I was like, we're going to start the season with a duck boat tour. So the staff took one. You know, most coaching retreats, guys go away, go to the beach, go to Cape Cod, go to different places. We did our coaching retreat in downtown Boston, and because we had new staff members, and we were creating this identity of building a connection to the city. And I was like, we're doing our staff retreat in Boston. We're going to dinner in Boston. We're going to a Boston hotel, and we're going to do the duck boat tour so we can understand the city and the history. And we need to know what this is really all about. So we did one at the beginning of the year, and we're going to end one with one.
Huh. Doc Rivers did something similar, but he did it with players at the start of 2007, 2008. He took those guys on a duck boat tour, the big three at the time, and said, this is the parade route.
Yeah, I heard that.
This is what we're chasing. So those guys have been on one, but it'll be a little different tomorrow. I don't think you'll be learning so much about the history as you will the people, the crowds.
Which is a huge strength, and I'm really excited to see how the people just support the players and support those guys. Like, that's going to be awesome. And it's going to be really fun to watch them enjoy that.
I heard that he did an interview with that Part of My Take show, and he said that he had a vision board.
Yes.
That him and his friend put together, and that on that vision board, he had the Larry O'Brien Trophy, Brad Stevens, and the Boston Celtics.
That's correct.
And so, this is a whole situation.
He's spoken it into existence. You're the coaches. You don't want to go anywhere. A staycation. Just kind of hang out with everyone. Don't go anywhere.
I wonder why Brad Stevens was on the vision board.
So he explained it. He said that, it got boring, but he explained it in something about when he was at Butler and the cross between the colleges that he was looking at and everything else. That's he's a unique fella. I know why Brad Stevens likes him so much, because I didn't know this, but when he was at West Virginia and Bob Huggins was his coach, he didn't play. Mazzulla was just on the bench. So before the tournament, he said that they should start playing this zone defense. And he pitched it to Huggins, and Huggins ended up doing it in the tournament, and they ended up going to the Final Four. So he credited Mazzulla enough so that after one of the tournament games, they interviewed Mazzulla, who never gotten on the court, was not one of the coaches. They interviewed him about that whole thing.
I still love that. But you see that picture I showed you of Mazzulla in the governor's mansion at West Virginia wearing that 4XL college shirt.
So do you remember what skaters used to wear in 1991, 1992? Super baggy pants and super long polos and super long T-shirts. Like ridiculously baggy pants. Yeah. Mazzulla, a good 15 years after that, it's just rocking this polo that goes down to his knees. It's a not a good look. He looks like he's in a time machine, but I don't think Mazzulla really cared about that kind of stuff. It's
this Technicolor. It is as if he forgot that he was going to the governor's mansion, didn't have a collared shirt, and the center on the team, 7-foot-tall center, said, here's a collared shirt. And Mazzulla's 6'1", so the thing was hanging down to his knees. Everyone else is in a collared shirt, looks nice. Mazzulla's front row center wearing this Technicolor horizontal stripe thing.
Or Mazzulla was at some darkness retreat or some kind of silent meditation weekend, and he decided to he just didn't follow fashion for 15 years. It just still had the same clothes. Still thought that was good. He was totally crossed out in some of the pictures too. He was a big crisscross guy. Yeah, Mazzulla is an interesting fella. I could see why a guy like Brad Stevens would would fall in love with him. And what's funny about the NBA is they were talking about the J.J. Redick thing, which I suppose we'll get into in a minute, so I won't get so much into J.J. Redick. But everyone's like, the NBA isn't high school and college basketball. It's not about like really calling plays and devising offenses and defenses. Like you don't have to have like 80 plays to get into a game. It's about motivating your team to perform at their best consistently. Like it's a motivational tactic.
Yeah, everybody's basketball IQ is to the level where if they see something, everyone on the floor knows how to react to it.
And they're so good athletically that they can make up for all that stuff. If you're Princeton playing against Georgetown, there's such a deficit in talent that you really have to devise something to slow the game down and to get away from their height advantage and everything else. I mean, but when everyone's NBA teams, I mean, look, the Celtics were way better than the teams they played, but there's not this ginormous, talent deficit in these matchups. So it is funny that Missoula is this. In everything I hear him say, it's almost like he has these unique ways of motivating, which is a little Phil Jackson-y.
That's what I was thinking, Fred. Like, I wonder if there's a correlation between the uniqueness or eccentricity level of an NBA coach and getting guys to buy in. Like, this might seem a little bit crazy, but if you get enough wins and enough guys are – and again, it's not so much the X's and O's. It's more about the game day mentality or a defensive mentality, I would say, is the biggest thing. And if you see success from it, you're like, all right, I'm going to buy into this crazy a little bit. And whether it's Phil Jackson or Joe Mazzulla or whoever, if it works, then I think guys are more likely to buy in, kind of as a group.
More specifically, you have to sell your best players on it first. It can't just be the collective. And that goes back to the hiring process to begin with. The Celtics, I'm sure, went to Jason Tatum and said, we're thinking of promoting Joe Mazzulla. What do you think? And Tatum said, I like that guy. Let's do it. And that was the first step to getting everyone else on board. So,
well, I mean, what Phil Jackson did, I think would be easy to motivate a great player, because his whole thing was staying present and getting into, again, that flow state that those greats do. Like when they get into that where they're not thinking, where everything slows down. And it's believed that you can almost will yourself into that state through concentration. So if I was a great player and you said, oh, wow, because I guess everyone who's been in the NBA have had games where everything was going in and everything had slowed down for them. And it's very hard to will yourself into that, to that way of thinking or that way of being.
Yeah.
And if someone said, I have an idea of how you can achieve this, I would imagine that would be something you'd want to know. I'd want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Teach me, oh, sweet guru. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay. Rolling Rally begins at 11 a.m. next to TD Garden. It'll travel past Government Center and the Boston Common. It ends on Boylston Street next to the Heinz Convention Center. As you've mentioned a couple of times already, we have our own Nick Gemelli live next to the Garden in the area all morning. Zolak and Bertrand live from Hurricane O'Reilly's. Beginning at 10 a.m. here on the flagship radio station of the Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub. But the Rolling Rally, Fred, is not the only NBA news of the morning. The Lakers were rejected by UConn head coach Danny Hurley earlier this month, so they've settled on their second choice for head coach J.J. Redick.
I think what Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss of the Lakers saw with J.J. Redick was upside, was potential. They saw someone who they felt has a tremendous basketball IQ, has an ability to connect with players, and they're willing to take the risk that his learning curve will be short if they can put the right coaching staff around him, the right assistants with him, that he'll move quickly in that job. And, this was not a marketplace, Al, where there were a lot of real accomplished high-level coaches available.
Yeah, this is great, and great for him. Get a guy with no experience in arguably, I heard Nick Wright say this, arguably the least amount of experience of any coach coming into a job in the history of the modern NBA. I don't even think it was arguably. I think he said it was. With no coaching experience at any level, no front office experience, nothing.
Yeah, even Joe Mazzulla was a head coach at a lower level college.
Joe Mazzulla was a coach. I mean,
he was on the staff.
I mean, even like a high school coach, like no coaching.
Right.
And the thing is that you take this guy, the team already knows you didn't want him. That's not the guy you even wanted. You offered a 6-year deal to a college coach. Now, this guy's got a 4-year deal, which I suppose is what they signed for, is what they're saying.
4 years, $32 million.
Yeah, and so
for JJ Redick.
And so on both parts, if I'm JJ Redick, I would have stayed what I was doing. He was terrible at it, so maybe it was good to get out of it. And if I'm the Lakers are just they're just stuck in garbage. They're really just stuck in it.
You hear one of the candidates to be his assistant is Rajon Rondo, who, by all accounts, has a great basketball mind, but hasn't really coached a lot
By
either.
the way, his kid's one of the top middle school kids in the country. They're apparently going to line him up with a bunch of big time veteran assistants and pay them a bunch of money.
is one of those guys they've spoken to.
Yeah,
Celtics assistants.
Yeah,
I heard someone say last night they were reluctant to say that JJ Redick is not qualified for the job. I said, why not? Say it. He has no qualifications for the job. He knows a lot about basketball. Yeah, and he played for a long time. So what?
How good a coach was Magic?
How does that mean? How does that translate into coaching?
How good a coach was Magic?
Awful. He was an awful coach.
I mean, being good at basketball and knowing a lot about basketball doesn't have anything to do with how good a coach you are. We've seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, Mazzulla never played in the NBA. How would Mazzulla? He's never been a peer of these guys, and he's younger than a guy or two on the team.
Brad Stevens,
Crazy.
perfect example.
Brad Stevens.
First coaching job is head coach of the Lakers.
Yeah, so
your first coaching job of any.
He got the job because he's got a podcast with the main superstar.
Well, and I don't know why now they're talking about Bronny James. I don't know why they're giving that organization, which is far bigger than any individual player. It is. Why? And they don't. It's not like Boston where they forever had to try to get free agents. I don't think it's going to be a problem now, but where they forever had to try to get free agents here and no one wanted to play here. Every single person wants to play in Los Angeles for the Lakers. You are bigger than any individual player. Maybe not Michael and Jordan in his prime, and maybe not LeBron in his prime, but you're bigger than LeBron right now. Look, one of these websites just put the top 100 NBA players, and they had LeBron like 14th. Regardless if you agree with that or not, he's not a top 5 player, and he's old. I'm not doing anything for him. I'm big. What is it with these owners not going, my league and my team is bigger than this guy, unless it's like Steph Curry and I'm Golden State. He's winning all these championships, and he's like the face of the franchise and this like incredible guy, all this and that. Well, then I understand.
Head coach, we just got through telling you, I'm sure they ran Ime Udoka and Joe Mazzulla by Jason Tatum before they hired either one of them.
No, I know, but they are coaches. And Brad Stevens wanted Mazzulla. And Brad Stevens wanted Udoka. No, that's completely different, John. You know that. They asked Tatum if it's cool, but they just asked him at the end. They didn't have Tatum didn't go to him and go, I want Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah.
Or I want Ime Udoka. And at least they're coaches. Like they have coached basketball. This is and Jason Tatum didn't go, hey, go sign Deuce. Like, go sign Deuce.
That's true.
Oh, wait. Is it like a 5th grade? Yeah. Put him on the team. It's the same difference. It's signing Bronny James. Deuce would be as good on the Celtics as Bronny James is going to be on the Lakers.
He'll contribute as much, yeah.
Oh, I'm not kidding. Bronny James is not an NBA player right now. I don't know. He's not big, and he's not like... He's just got size, so he can go out there and play defense. I mean, he's a good athlete.
He would keep his father happy. Yeah, Deuce would keep Jason Tatum happy. Yeah, same contribution.
But I don't know why they're so interested in keeping LeBron happy. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. You're bigger than him. I don't know why these owners eat such crap all the time. I don't know. I would have in Milwaukee for Giannis, and I would in Golden State for Curry. But they won. And, like, no one wants to go to Milwaukee. And so if I'm lucky enough to keep the guy, I want to please him. That I get.
Yeah.
Once he won the title. But
they've done that. They've gotten both of his brothers, neither of whom can really play basketball well on the roster. So
I bet you they're better than Bronny James.
I
They're certainly bigger.
Thanasis Antetokounmpo is more than likely better than Bronny James.
Well, he's certainly bigger.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics won a championship. They went to Miami for a day to celebrate, and now the rolling rally. A rolling rally to honor the NBA record 18th championship by the Green begins at 11 a.m. outside of TD Garden. The Lakers have finally hired J.J. Redick as their new head coach. It's a 4-year, $32 million contract. Ramondre Stevenson has signed a contract extension with the Patriots. It's a 4-year, $36 million extension with $17 million guaranteed. And the Red Sox had last night off. They pitch Cutter Crawford tonight in Cincinnati. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Mission accomplished.
Goes to Derek White, who steps back into the corner for three. Kick into the corner. Al, three. Got it. Offensive rebound. Lively. Blocked by Derek White. A monster block.
This is the flagship station of the world champion Boston Celtics. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
I got a very nice email for a guy that said, among other things, I like you pretending you don't know part of my take. If that's how it came out, I am very well aware of part of my take. I don't listen to it, but I think those guys are talented. I think that those guys are very talented. I heard Pro Football commentator years and years ago. I didn't know who he was. I really didn't know who he was. And he was on a show on ESPN radio. And I thought he was very funny. So those guys I know. If it came off like I was trying to be too cool, because Hardy's always calling me on that. If it came off like I was trying to be too cool and I didn't know who they were, that's not true at all. I know who they are. And good for them getting Missoula. And good for Zolak and Bertrand getting Missoula.
Yeah.
Everyone talented is getting Missoula. Whoever's not getting Missoula blows. John, a lot of good your connections have done us. All right. What else is going on, Johnny boy?
All right, let's talk about football now. The Patriots have spent the entire offseason bringing back key pieces of the roster, and yesterday they locked up their top running back.
20-yard completion for the catch and carry, and a give now to Stevenson. Big hole running to the right side across the 40, outside to the 45, sliding it down the right side past defenders. Goodbye to the 25-20, to the 10, to the 5, end zone bound. Touchdown Patriots, who take the lead.
Boy, it's good to see that. Something about that guy shows you a little pop. You're down 10. Defense makes a big play to get you going in this game. That's the big thing.
Ramondre Stevenson told the media at mandatory minicamp less than 2 weeks ago a new contract was coming. Yesterday, Elliott Wolf sealed the deal. It's a 4-year extension worth $36 million with $17 million guaranteed. The $9 million a year price tag ranks him 7th in the NFL behind Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, and others. But the most important part of this, guys, is the Patriots have locked up Stevenson, Kyle Duggar, Mike Onwenu, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, and Anthony Jennings for at least the next 3 seasons. And there's really only one other contract out there. It's Matthew Judon. He's entering the last year of his contract. It'll pay him a base salary of $6.5 million, but he will be 32 years of age in August.
Let's get to some of the, look, do you sign running backs to 4-year deals, especially Ramondre Stevenson, who's good, not great? It's a little weird, but I will tell you this. Andrew Callahan made a great point on Twitter, our friend Andrew Callahan, very loyal Andrew Callahan. Said, I understand general pushback on paying running backs, but specific to the Patriots, what's the downside here? The Pats still lead the league in NFL in cap space. They rank 30th in cash spent for the next year when this deal really kicks in. They've used that cash and cap to retain one of their best. I can't get this to reload. One of their best players, so on and so forth. One of their best players and weapons in his prime on a deal that should rank outside the top 10 running backs soon enough. The deal does not prohibit them from adding more weapons, and they should be able to cut him without consequence before he's 30. Fine contract. And I don't have a problem. I got a couple things to say about this. I don't have a problem with them re-signing these guys as a message to the team at all, or a message to incoming free agents that we keep our talent at all. If that's the message that they're making right now, they want to re-sign guys in their prime to really kind of reasonable contracts that aren't going to screw them up, absolutely. Like, people are crapping on it, like, oh, you're sending a message. So that's one thing. Number two, people are going, oh, I guess Belichick can pick. No, he can't. No, he can't at all. 22 draft class: Cole Strange, Tyquan Thornton, Marcus Jones, Jack Jones, Pierre Strong, Bailey Zappi, Kevin Harris, Sam Roberts, Jason Hines. He can't pick. Just because they re-signed. How many guys have they re-signed? 4, 5?
5, yeah.
5. 5 picks over how many years? I mean, get out of here with that. And some of them aren't even picks. Yeah, no. I'm talking about how many guys how many of their own players have they signed?
They got 6. Stevenson, Duggar, Onwenu, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, Anthony Jennings.
Hunter Henry wasn't a pick.
Was a free agent. But and Bourne was a free agent. So 4 guys.
Yeah, wow, 4 picks. Congratulations. Yeah, he's the best.
He's missed far more than he's hit.
Yeah, and he's missed first round picks.
He's missed.
Get out of here. Like, I guess you could pick. What is your deal with Bill Belichick?
Thornton, Jack Jones. I mean, come on.
I just gave you the 2022 draft class. It's horrible. It's a horrible draft class. Correct, Mike? You're the expert.
Yeah, no. Of those guys that you mentioned, Marcus Jones is really the impact guy. And we don't know how much of an impact, really, because he was hurt most of last season.
Oh, congratulations, Marcus Jones. I mean, in the 2021 draft class, he got Barmore and he got Stevenson, and that's awesome. But he drafted Mac Jones. So, I mean, there you go. And he didn't have to draft Mac Jones.
And by the way,
when you just decide you're going to take whatever quarterback is left,
yeah.
By the time you get around to picking, you kind of had to pick them if you want to fault them for, I don't know, maybe not identifying a better quarterback and moving up or not picking them all together. Yeah, that's different.
And also, drafting Christian Gonzalez when he lands in your lap in the middle of the first round, a guy that was supposed to go in the top 10, also does not take a lot of skill.
Look, man, but good. You drafted him. I mean, it's better than drafting Cold Strange. I mean, at least you drafted him. So good. You drafted you hit on a first-round pick, and we don't even know if you hit on it. Let's just say you did. You got a good corner in the first round. Congratulations. That's great, but that does not a GM make. You should have. I don't know what the deal with him is. He's a terrible, terrible GM. I mean, I happen to think he's a good coach, but there's no debating he's an awful, awful GM, and his modus operandi was no longer working. You like how I threw that in there, modus operandi?
That was really cool.
I got an email yesterday, Fred, from somebody who said you were using the phrase social mores multiple times during the show, either yesterday or the day before. Does that ring a bell with you?
Probably. It sounds like something cool, I'd say.
So I believe the emailer wanted to know, where did you hear it?
I was listening to 50 Shades of Grey on tape. Let me take you to the 2019 draft class, shall we?
Sure.
N'Keal Harry.
Oh, yeah.
Some Joquan Williams or Joanne Williams.
Yes. Joanne Williams, yeah.
Yeah, gone.
Chase Winovich, who now is, I've been told, a 9/11 denier.
Yeah, his family is now not speaking to him for his 9/11 conspiracy theories.
Exiled to Cleveland, Chase Winovich, yes.
He's on a team?
Oh, well, he was
No,
last
not
year.
anymore.
Yeah, he's retired. He's retired, John.
Anymore.
Yeah, he ain't playing. Damian Harris. And then guys whose names I can't pronounce until it gets to the Stidman in the fourth round. Yeah, Yadni Kajust.
Oh, Yadni Kajust, yeah.
Offensive lineman, yep.
Yeah, Hardy's been down there at training camp, so I got to hand it to him. He will know.
No, you know what it is? It's all those years of sitting with Perillo and Mike Dussault.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys rattle off the names of training camp players and third-string guys and practice squad guys like they're best friends because they know every player who's gone through that organization intimately.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then do they know how to say Hajati Frodholt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, but yeah, Froholt.
Yeah,
sounds. I think you're saying it right.
Well, of course I am. I'm also say social mores.
Impressive.
And modus operandi. All right.
Je ne sais quoi.
Huh? All right. So when Bert Breer gets here, we will talk to him. But I do when he's here because there's not, let's be honest, like so much football to talk about. But I will tell you about my evening last night with two 13-year-old girls. Slow down. It gets better. At the A Boogie with the Hoodie show.
I can't wait to hear about this. And I just learned a few seconds ago, Fred, that as you just said correctly, his name is A Boogie with da Hoodie. Don't forget the article at the beginning. I thought he was just Boogie with da Hoodie.
No, I said A Boogie.
Yeah, I know you said it.
Yeah,
you said it right, so you know.
Oh, I was there. Yeah, of course. I mean, I had the program and all the merch. I bought the program. No.
Well, you get the playbill when you walk into a show like that, and then you count the songs. You see when the intermission is.
And you'll enjoy this, Hardy, because I don't think you enjoy when people do this either. I had a couple people in my life inform me just how the crowd would be, and I went, I don't think so. And they went, oh, well, you wouldn't know, old man. And guess who was wrong? Those people. And there's nothing I hate more than someone just battling to me that I'm wrong when they don't know any better than I do. All right. We'll be right back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the
Fresh from winning their 18th championship and taking a quick team excursion to Miami, the Celtics are back in town. They'll be honored by the city at a duck boat parade today in downtown Boston. It begins outside of TD Garden at 11 a.m., eventually ends at the Heinz Convention Center on Boylston Street. And we'll have live coverage of the event right here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics 98.5, the Sports Hub. There's plenty of other news in the NBA as well. The Lakers have agreed to terms with J.J. Redick on a reported 4-year, $32 million contract to become their new head coach. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have traded Josh Giddey to Chicago for all-league defensive player Alex Caruso. The Patriots continue to lock up core pieces of the roster. Yesterday, they signed running back Ramondre Stevenson to a 4-year contract extension worth $36 million, $17 million of which is guaranteed. The Red Sox had last night off. They've won 5 in a row. They're one game out of a playoff spot. They open up a 3-game series in Cincinnati tonight. And round 2 of the Travelers Championship begins momentarily in Cromwell, Connecticut. Tom Kim fired at 8 under 62 yesterday. He's got a 2-shot lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Central 44 Jeep Chrysler Dodge Ram of Raynham, the #1 Jeep dealer with the largest inventory available minutes from anywhere. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Pritchard, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
Boston is home
Peyton Pritchard with the world
to
watching.
the world champion Celtics.
He knocks down a half-court three.
Boston's home of the NBA champion, Boston Celtics. 98.5, the Sports Hub. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
So annoying. I got a nice email from a kid, and he's like, da-da-da. I'm like, dude, no, don't worry about it. Everything's fantastic. Better than ever.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
Well, did he think something was wrong?
Information came out that I saw that it was the Memorial Day Weekly, and it was supposed to be pointing out something, and then instead it said, like, oh, boy, like, things are close. And it's a bunch, and then I saw that this guy's like, are things close? And I'm like, no, they're not close at all. The week was close. It was Memorial Day weekend, and that happens from time to time. People, people get close, people get da-da-da. But as a 3-month aggregate, it couldn't be further apart. We're number one. We will finish number one by a lot. That's it. If it makes everyone happy. The only reason I'm saying is I'm getting supportive emails. But I'm like, I want you to know, everybody, we're really good. Don't worry about us. We're solidly number one, and we'll continue to be. Our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And if you don't believe me, Finn will have his big article, and you can see how much we win, and you can see how poorly other people do, which is a real disaster. All right, here's the deal.
2 weeks, you said? Is that the tease?
July, after the 4th of July weekend. If you care, no one cares, but just for those who care, and I'm getting supportive emails, which is why I'm mentioning it, because I want to calm their fears. Believe me, things are going to be better.
This is like when people in my business think anyone knows who breaks a transactional story, and everybody fights over it, and then you ask somebody who's like a pretty big sports fan, and they can't tell you who broke the story.
All right, so there's 12 weeks in a book, and there's some weeks that it's not a perfect science, and there's some weeks that where there's a holiday or something like that where things get a little screwy, and we were still number one in what they're talking about, and we were number one by, in most markets, a solid margin, but people go, blah, 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 but that's like an outlier. Every other of the 11 months, we're by far number one. So just everyone relax. We are the number one show. We will continue to be. In fact, there are some shows that we have quadrupled the ratings. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and we're not going to tweet out the ratings and all that nonsense and beat our chests like idiots and fools. But I just wanted to say that to just get rid of your fears. Bert Breer is here as the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the QB. He joins us in studio this morning. Now, what did you do last night, Fred? Well, I got home at 1 o'clock.
I was curious.
I got home at 1 o'clock in the morning because I was at this gentleman's case.
It doesn't sound anything like the record because they have to project more generally in concert. It ends up being shouting more than it is any kind of vocalizing or like good sounding rapping, which is why I think most hip hop live shows don't sound great. It ends up people trying to shout down each other.
Well, maybe you have found out what A Boogie with the Hoodie has found out and said, you know what I'm not going to do? Use the microphone.
No.
No. Come on. So he had a guy out that came out before who was just some kid and whatever. I don't know. And then another guy came out. When I say the stage was barren, there wasn't even a DJ for the guy who opened for him, like the guy right before a Boogie with the Hoodie. When you want to talk about, and my daughter like knew who he was and liked him. And he was actually a better performer than A Boogie with the Hoodie, but he was just on a stage, a empty stage with a black cloth backdrop. There was, I mean, you know how bands can be dicks when they're opening? Like you've heard about bands that become successful and they're like, when we opened for, Motley Crue, they wouldn't give us any of their pyro, they wouldn't let it give us any sound. Like they like bands are notoriously dicks sometimes to opening acts. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. They're like, we're not even going to let your DJ be on stage. Like, you are going to be up there alone. Now, he did not use the microphone, but he did take off his shirt. And I will give him credit for that. So,
Okay.
but what happens is they play the song. Dan, if you would, play A Boogie with the Hoodie. So you said they're playing their song. Yes, they are playing this. What you are hearing now, every element of it. They are playing his record. They are playing his record. And not even on vinyl. They're playing it. And that's all that happens.
So does he like lip sync? Does he
No.
appear to be like mouthing the words as the song is playing?
No, so it will go like da 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 da. It'll go boo doo 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 doo. And then I go, da, da. All right, play it from the beginning, and I'll do what he did. All right, so this is the track in the background, and I'm A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Worth $200 a ticket.
Wow,
Fine.
and it's just watching a guy dance to his album, and it's in dance. And when I say dance, not like dance like it's
So they
choreographed dancing.
They basically decided not to hide it, is what you're saying.
Oh, the crowd didn't care. By the way, when I said no one was going to be there, I was entirely wrong. That place was filled. Now, general admission wasn't, so like the front of the stage was kind of lame, but the entire upper deck, loge, everything was filled.
Interesting.
Filled.
See,
completely.
I would think if you're gonna book a concert at a place like that, you have to know that it's gonna get sold out beforehand.
You'd be surprised, dude. Like the Black Keys just booked a big arena
Well,
tour,
except
and
for
they
Jim
had to
Irsay.
cancel. Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
that was free, but that wasn't a money making thing. That was a please love me thing.
That was a
Jennifer
legacy,
Lopez,
like a legacy thing.
Jennifer Lopez. I mean, it's kind of sad, but Jennifer, like, I'm not. I've seen many hip hop shows, and you can almost. I don't go to a lot of concerts anymore, so I can lose myself in a performance. Like when I saw Olivia Rodrigo, I was like, okay, like the crowd's super into it, and like they're yelling back at her, and there's like a stage show, and she's like riding crap around, like a moon around, and she's when she interacts with the crowd, she's this very effervescent, charismatic person. This is just a dude. He didn't even take his shirt off. He's just a dude just dancing. And when I say dancing, I'm using that term very loosely, to his own songs.
Was your daughter and her friend happy with the concert?
I mean, they liked that they were there, but they were like, it sucked. They were like, he didn't do anything. They're like, he didn't even rap. I mean, they were a little concerned with the lack of performance.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, see, that's the thing is, like, you would think that there'd be. He wouldn't do that if he didn't know a lot of people weren't going to leave fine with it. So, like, and I would assume your daughter's in his target audience, right? Like, so.
So let's bring that up. I was told by a couple females in my life, one being Kendra, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Like, this crowd, man, I can't wait to see you there. This crowd. And I go, I don't know. My daughter likes this stuff.
By, like, the makeup of the crowd?
The age and everything.
Yeah.
But let me finish. the TikTok, like, and I go, the only reason my daughter knows who this guy is TikTok. She's not like going to record stores and combing through vinyl, like crate digging. I mean, she's knows what's on TikTok. I find it very difficult to believe this audience is not going to be all teens.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You don't know. You'll be surprised. Not anyone over the age of 21. Not one person over the age of 21.
Yeah.
All teenagers. Every single one of them a teenager. The least intimidating crowd I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah, it's like the Olivia Rodrigo or something where it's all, kids under the age of, I was going to say 25, but it's probably 21. And the only outliers, Fred, are the parents of the really young kids who are there with them. That's it. There's nothing in between.
But the Olivia Rodrigo crowd was way more interesting. Let me explain. Huge gay audience that come dressed to the nines.
But not 30 years old. I mean, they're still very young.
Olivia Rodrigo, when I was in Detroit, she had an older gay audience there too. Now not older meaning 40, but there were groups of gay people in their 20s there that were super dressed up for it, so it was interesting and more of a scene. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was more of a scene. It was
This was
fun.
a bunch of teenagers and chaperones.
Teenagers without, sort of, and but more teenagers without chaperones. I'd say my daughter was on the younger side, but it didn't get much older.
Right.
They were okay. I'll give you an example. When I went out,
did you see other dads there in the same position you were?
Yeah. We all were sitting down. But because I'm why am I? Because I was getting in my daughter's way when I was standing up, so I just sat and watched. I watched the Cardinal game. That's how boring it was. So
shout out to the TD Garden for having reception.
Oh, such great reception. Yeah. Such great reception.
Good Wi-Fi, strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if you have Wi-Fi to pick up the game.
At one point, it's pretty funny. This is a concert, right? At one point, I'm walking down the aisle with 2 orders of chicken tenders and fries and 2 waters and a Coke. at a concert. If you ever would have told me I would be doing that in my life.
Suburban dad.
If you ever told me I'd be doing that in my life, I would be like, just kill him now. But so when
then they'd tell you what concert you were at.
Yeah. So when well, I would probably think I would be into it, but I also think that he would perform. When I left the Garden, I couldn't get anything going. First of all, they were setting up for the parade, but when they you could not get. There were no cabs in front of the Garden. Why? 5,000 cars of parents picking up their kids.
Yeah.
So we walked and walked and walked. And props to the Tavern on the Square guy. Very cool. Big fan of the show. You guys are always welcome, he said, whenever he wants to go in. Let me use the restroom. But you know how when you get lifts out there and you can't get lifts because they keep canceling them once you get them? So I just kept walking with the girls. And every street we went on was just jammed because it was parents just parked with their hazards on the side of the street all around the Garden, back streets of the Garden, all of it. And a bunch of girls going, "Where the hell are you? Why are you upset at me?" It was just a sea of girls screaming into their phones at their parents.
Why are you upset at me?
And I went, you know what? This sounds about right. Here's the poor parent, at 11:30 at night, sitting in the city, trying
just the worst scenario possible.
On a Thursday night, trying to find their effing ungrateful kid while their kid screams and yells at them that they're not in the right place because I'm sure the parent's not in the right place. I've officially become a parent. My daughter was great and her friend was great. But we stayed for the whole thing, but there was a point where my daughter went, "Wow, I'm tired. This is pretty boring." That did happen. And so it wasn't just me. But I got to tell you, I got to give the guy credit. He did not even pretend. He did not lip sync. He did not use the microphone. He didn't sing or rap. Nothing. It was just unbelievable. It wasn't karaoke. It wasn't a lip sync contest. Putting on the hits was a more genuine affair than this was. He was just jumping on one leg and da 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 da. So God bless him. You don't understand. You don't understand it. You're going to be uncomfortable. The audience. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be uncomfortable. Not many places make me uncomfortable. It's the TD Garden, after all. You're going to be uncomfortable. You don't understand. Boo. Real uncomfortable.
Fred, I know why you're such a fan, though, as I read up on A Boogie with the Hoodie. Julius DeBose is his real name. He got in some legal trouble back in January of 2022. He was sued by homeowners who claimed he clogged the toilets of their mansion.
Yes.
Causing $250,000 in damage.
Please move in. And I will tell
January
you this.
21, yes. That was in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Yeah, and if you want to know who's vaping, look no further than every 14 to 20-year-old is constantly vaping. I thought it was going to be constant weed smoke, and it was not.
All right.
It was just people vaping, which I thought was pretty funny because I'm like, I don't know that many people that vape. And then here we are. There's like every single person was vaping. I went, good for you. I went, give me some of that.
Yeah.
I was putting my mouth on all of them. I was doing 5 at a time. But who's the good dad is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so, that's the takeaway.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't think I would have done that.
I waited an hour for a lift.
I've gone to shows I didn't want to go to, but I don't know. I mean, I would have been so angry after the first 10 minutes. He's not even rapping. He wasn't holding a mic. Did he have a headset mic? He must have because he was going,
he was holding a mic.
He was holding a mic.
Yeah, but holding it at his waist. But here's the thing.
I don't know if I've never seen that though. Like you go to concerts where you can tell someone's lip syncing. I've been to like Super Bowl halftime shows where you can see their lip syncing. I've never seen it where the person just throws their hands up and says, "I'm not even going to pretend."
Okay, if you see Usher,
you spent the money. You're already here.
If you see Usher at halftime and he's lip syncing part of it, why is he lip syncing? Because he's got this incredibly intricate, high performance dance routine he's doing, and it would be impossible to do both.
Right.
So you kind of rob Peter to pay Paul. Fine.
Yeah.
And by the way, it wasn't even loud enough to bother me. So, like, it wasn't that bad, Hardy. Like, I know what you're thinking, that it would have been, like, this huge, loud thing and, like, annoying crowd.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd wasn't even that into it, and, like, it wasn't even loud. Like, I watched part of the Cardinal game, which I never do. I just watched
and you
it on
got
my
some
phone.
food.
Well, I got it for them, but, yeah, if you ever would have told me I'd be at a show with 2 waters and a Diet Coke and a couple of chicken tenders and fries, gang. And I'm like, excuse me, when I go down the aisle. Pardon me, gang. I got all the food here for you. Big, stupid, suburban dad dork. Big, fat dork walking around. Ugh. I disgust myself. All right, Bert Breer's here. Bert. And one day you'll be doing these things.
I'm probably not far off from that.
Oh, no, you're very close. How old are the kids?
9, 7, and 4.
Oh, yeah. You're 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years from having to do a lot of this garbage. Right now, you're in driving time, where I'm still at with my son. Mm-hmm. But you'll get to this. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. The Patriots with Ramondre Stevenson. We can talk to him about some of the problems people have with that deal. Not so much for Ramondre Stevenson, but the organization in general. In just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy is out there at the Travelers Championship just in time for the parade. And young Nicholas is at the parade. Is he checking in with us coming up next break? So he'll be checking in with us. Your New England Patriots, it's very exciting, have signed Ramondre Stevenson, and people are saying that why they do it. He's a running back. It's a 4-year, $36 million extension. I've heard Andrew Callahan say, why not? They have all this money. Also, they can get out of it at a certain point. Your feelings on Ramondre Stevenson in the signing?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, it's one of those things where running backs have become so devalued that they almost become a value, you know? Like, if you look at, like, what Christian McCaffrey's making, right? Now, he got a bump, but his contract was $16 million per year. All right, so think about how much he affects the 49ers, right? And I'm going to pull up the receivers right now who are making that much. I mean, you're talking about, like, when you get to that level of receiver, right, like that's making $16 million a year. Tyler Lockett, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk, Cortland Sutton. I mean, who would you rather have? You know?
Yeah.
So then let's go down to what Ramondre Stevens is making, right? He's got the same contract. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to make that on his rookie contract, right? Juju is making $9 million a year.
Please stop. I mean, it's just embarrassing.
I mean, Adam Thielen on his last legs is making that much. Mike Williams is making a little bit more than that with the Jets on a make-good deal. Brandon Cooks is, again, like the very back end of his career with the Cowboys is making that much. So, you know, I think the question becomes, like, what are we actually talking about here? There's the philosophical part of it, which is, like, don't pay a running back, which I get that because they are replaceable. But when a guy's really important to who you are and your identity and what you're trying to build and the locker room and everything else, it's hard for me to get upset about $9 million a year.
Is there and also, like, say maybe this isn't the best investment in money, but they had the money. Isn't there, or is there, I should say, something to be said for, look, the team did this kind of business for so long they didn't retain people. We're sending a message. Yeah. Building a culture and sending a message to players around the league that we take care of our guys.
Now, here's the problem. The problem is Devon Godchow, like, wants to be paid like he's like a premier defensive tackle. How do you handle that when you've taken care of a lot of his teammates? Matthew Judon, who I still don't think is going to play on the contract that he's on right now.
I wouldn't pay him.
Like, how do you take care of Matthew Judon?
Trade him.
Well, think about this, right? Like, so Matthew Judon, you got him in it. I think it was $14 million per year. Nick Bosa is making $34 million at the same position. Now,
how much older is Judon, though?
Right, and Judon's
Bosa's like 24,
and Judon's not close to. I mean, Nick Bosa is one of probably.
Yeah, Judon's going to be 32. There's a big difference there.
But if you're Matthew Judon, now put yourself in his shoes, right? If we're not just talking about him as a commodity, if you're him. How would you look at that? You look at it like, well, they just got me under market for the last 3 years. I only have so much time to make money, so I got to really push it now, you know? So, like, it's a tricky thing. Like, I applaud them taking care of people and rewarding the guys who've done the right things. You know, I do wonder a little bit about what sort of effect this is going to have when we get to the summer with some of the guys who are looking for contracts.
But doesn't it kind of lessen the blow, though, for guys that are looking for contracts where
I'm with you. I like his age. Like, I love him as a player. I love him as a guy. I think he's been, one of the best signings they've ever had here, right? Like, but
how many 30-year-old, approaching mid-30-year-old pass rushers are making a lot of money in the NFL?
Not a lot, but those guys do last. Like, those guys, like, can now, what ends up happening is they turn more into specialists, like, when they get older, you know. But, like, Justin Houston is still kicking around. Yeah. Yannick Ngakwe's been around forever. Jadeveon Clowney. Like, there are a lot of guys that, you hear about them this time of year, they're still free agents. You know what I mean? Like, and then they wind up latching on with somebody. So,
but the thing is, the Patriots don't need him. Like, the Patriots don't need him. He's not any use to them. He's 32, and they're not going to be any good this year. Go get an asset that will help you when you're going to be good.
And I would agree with that. Like, if Judon is set on, like, you got to pay me over 20 a year, like, which, I mean, like, look, like, I know you scoff at that, right?
Yes.
But if you're him, again, put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah, if I'm the Patriots,
and you look at it and you say, well, Bosa got 34, so shouldn't I be worth 20? Like, that's probably the way I would think about it if I were him. So, but he's coming off of an injury, which obviously affects things, and his age is an issue. And I don't think he could find somebody else to pay him that. But if you're him, I would 100% understand why you would shoot for that based on the way he's played and everything he's given here.
Okay, let's take a break. I want to talk about this idea that since the Patriots have re-signed these 4 guys, that all of a sudden they're conceding that Bill Belichick is a good GM. I want to get into that. Plus, I want to break now because we still have to talk to young Nicholas, who's so brave.
He's back to his roots, right? Like right near the North End there.
Yeah. Oh.
Nicholas, come by. Why won't you say hello?
Right there. Right there.
Nick, my estranged Nicholas. Oh, my estranged Nicholas.
It's a stone's throw.
Nicholas.
Is there a feast this weekend?
Of course. A feast for one.
It's summer in the North End.
Yeah.
Feast
No,
every
one of the feasts.
Yeah.
Well, you know the feasts. Yeah.
Yeah. What Hardy's agreeing with you. Yes, it's summer in the
St.
North
Anthony's,
End.
Something.
Yeah, some Saints doing something that you got to eat at.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. All right, we'll be right back
7:50,
with Bert Breer from MMQB. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics will be the guests of honor at a duck boat parade through the streets of Boston. A rolling rally to celebrate a championship is set to kick off at 11 a.m. this morning outside of TD Garden. We'll have live coverage of this event before, during, and after right here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics 98.5, the Sports Hub. Lakers have hired J.J. Redick as their new head coach. It's a 4-year, $32 million deal. Patriots have signed running back Ramondre Stevenson to a 4-year contract extension. It's a prize package worth $36 million with $17 million guaranteed. And the Red Sox had last night off to take a 5-game winning streak into Cincinnati this evening to play the last-place Reds. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy and Brian Scalabrine at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
The Celtics bring home number 18.
Confetti guns shooting green and white confetti. Get to the corner for three. Out, open, straight away. 3, got it.
the sports.
And we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. We're here with Bert Breer from MMQB. They'll be around until 8. I got a break at 50 to get to young Nicholas.
Okay.
But please stay. I want you to be able to talk to young Nicholas if you can. All right. So one thing I saw people talking about online yesterday was like, well, look at this. The Patriots have retained 4 of Belichick's draft picks. Bill Belichick is a good GM. And then I said, that's asinine. What are your thoughts as someone who covers the game for a living?
I mean, it's obvious, right? Like,
Yes.
Bill the GM did in Bill the coach. And I think you can even hear it, like, from some of the people who have come and stuck up for Bill in the aftermath of the roast, in the aftermath of the dynasty, where even guys from the more recent Patriots that didn't win have defended him, So, like, what would we even be arguing about here? Like, they messed up the draft. They messed up roster construction over the end of Bill Belichick's time here, which is what wound up doing him in. It wasn't that Bill was too old school. It wasn't that Bill forgot how to coach. It was the freaking roster. And I question what anyone who says it wasn't is even looking at. Because it was so obvious the last few years.
It took me Googling, like, 3 of the 4 last drafts, just like
Well, who
some
are
of
they
them
citing?
unmitigated disaster.
Who are they saying? Uche?
Just the 4 guys that they've re-signed this offseason.
So Uche was Uche came back because he had no market.
Yeah, and then Stevenson.
Stevenson's on like a mid-level running back contract.
Sure, and then they retained Duggar, which was a good pick.
Yep.
And they retained
Onwenu.
You're
Anthony
right.
Jennings, they re-signed him, but he doesn't really count. I mean,
No,
he's
he
not
doesn't.
a situational linebacker.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I mean, like, that's not a building block. you
No,
know?
but Stevenson, Duggar, and Onwenu are the 3.
And I've said this like a few times too. Like the problem isn't like that you don't have rank and file players here. The problem is you don't have cornerstones. And like one of like the weight bearing walls, obviously for all of those years, was Tom Brady. But they also had guys who played premium positions at a very high level. So, look at the left tackle situation. They had, 2 left tackles?
Light and Solder.
Light and Solder, yeah.
And then at the very end, like, they
nice
had to,
guy that sold.
right, like, so, like, they had premier, like, edge rusher, linebacker hybrids, and Chandler Jones and Dante Hightower, and then before that, Mike Vrabel and Willie McGinnis. They had a lot of great corners here over the years, right? Ty Law, obviously, at the beginning of the dynasty. Asante Samuel.
Stephon Gilmore.
Darrell Revis for the year. Aqib Talib. That's what they're lacking now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, all due respect, like, a guard ain't winning you the Super Bowl, right? A running back, a mid-level running back isn't winning you the Super Bowl. What wins you the Super Bowl is having your business taken care of at the most important positions on the field. And that's where they failed. Quarterback, Mac Jones, bust. Left tackle, Isaiah Wynn, bust.
Yeah.
Corner, they just got taken care of. But, like, after Stephon Gilmore, what did they have at corner?
Like Jack Jones and, like,
not a
bunch of
whole
guys
lot.
that are
right,
gone. Yeah.
Not a whole lot. Like, you just look at it, and at the premium positions, they didn't have their business taken care of. And ultimately, that is, like, if you look at the teams that are the best in the league, even the ones that have the great quarterbacks, right? So Kansas City, obviously, a massive part of that is Patrick Mahomes. But look at their investment in the offensive line. They have a premier pass rusher. Now he's interior, not an edge rusher, but that's Chris Jones. They've done really well at corner the last few years in the draft with Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie and all of those guys. Like, I don't know how you could look at it and say the roster isn't. It is the problem.
Can I ask you something real quickly?
And I understand defending Bill, and I've defended Bill, but like that's a bridge too far.
No.
You're saying like there's because now what do you like? There has to have been a reason for them going 4-13. It wasn't for no reason.
Yeah, it's not because you can't coach. All right, I want you to tell me, and you don't have to name names. But are people having a good time with Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend in the sport?
It might have been a topic of conversation on a few of my text groups.
I was explaining this to
I like how Gronk like teased it for like 2 months though.
I know.
Can't help himself.
He's getting funnier.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care about Belichick at all. It's pretty cool. So I was explaining this to a girl.
Did you see the picture of them? The pictures of them like boarding the boat?
Yes, that changed my opinion on the whole thing. I don't get it for either of them now. So the thing is this. I was like, whoops a daisy.
What?
I'm like, huh? I don't even want either of these people. So like, seriously, I'd be like, ah. But okay, so if I'm gonna be 70 and hauling a 24-year-old to Nantucket, believe me, you're gonna know who she is. She's gonna stand out. But I was explaining,
like Anna Nicole.
Yeah, it would be like Anna Nicole Smith. I would be like a 24-year-old Anna Nicole Smith.
Who was the guy that was
J. Howard Marshall?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I was explaining this to a girl. It's like, she's like, I don't understand what the big deal is, other than like, it's kind of weird, but like, I don't understand the big deal. It's Belichick. Like, these guys have positioned themselves as these bastions of morality and like solid Americans and like, leaders of men and like meat and potatoes guys, and then then you get fired, and the first thing you do is you're signing textbooks and paying a 24-year-old on ring cams.
There is a difference. There is a difference between it being like a 35-year-old would be kind of weird, right? Like, but that would be like fine. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I get it. Yeah, like, but you say, and by the way,
you met the girl and she was in college.
But by the way, dude, if you were 73, George Clooney or Mick Jagger, like Mick Jagger's 80, right?
Oh, there's some real bad math out there on this one.
But Mick, no. But Mick Jagger is Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger is like this insane.
Yeah. He has charisma.
He's this insane cultural icon. He's like, he hangs out with like these, like Mick Jagger. I get actually wanting to be with Mick Jagger, going, this is cool. Like, this is Mick Jagger. I'm not even a big Stones fan, but I can totally see it. He's a rock star. He's on arena stages. Celebrities are dying to meet him. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in your presence. Bill Belichick's some old guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like very much a 73-year-old man. I can't get enough of it. I do love it.
I mean, the textbook thing is
Oh, I got to tell you something off the air. Bert, I got to tell you
You're right about Mick Jagger, though, Freddie. Even David Bowie fell under his spell. And that's a guy who wanted nothing to do with him. And he couldn't say no once they started getting together and singing.
You say that, but you know why you're talking about the Dance in the Street, but you know why they had sex together, David Bowie, and they did have sex together. That's a fact. But the reason Mick Jagger and David Bowie slept together was because, A, David Bowie was known to sleep with men, and B, they probably were just like, why not? Like, everyone in the world,
everything else we can do.
I can understand it. They're just like, you know what? Like, we could have sex with anyone we want, and so let's just have sex with each other.
Yeah, right. What I've really enjoyed about this is the wording and the reporting. Like, the quote unquote news reporters from TMZ are writing this as if they're writing like normal news stories, like as if they're like covering like, something in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you what, you find me with if you find me with the,
I would
when
love
I'm studying with the 24-year-old, you're gonna know who she is.
I want
to be like, who's the chick with the bright blonde hair and the massive cans?
I mean, I want to know who the source is that confirmed to people or whoever it was that video, the ring cam video, was the girl's house. Like, who went and confirmed that?
It's just so funny that it is, because I'd give him so much more credit if it wasn't. If it was just he was just doing this all the time. All right, listen, Bert, stick around. We're going to check in with young Nicholas as he is at the parade in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You can, I could.
Oh, sweet young Nicholas is down at wherever the hell he is.
Back home for him.
Yeah, by the north end. He didn't grow up there though. He grew up in Marshfield.
No, I know.
Come see me.
But this is his roots.
Oh my God. Could you please, Nicholas? Oh, Nick, please, we're estranged.
All right. So,
Could see her hanging out the window of the rolling pin.
Wait, what, Nick?
I don't want that to be funny, but it is to me.
All right, very good.
Why? Is it because I kissed the porn lady?
All right, young Nicholas, paint a picture for us. What is going on? It's got to be out of control already, is it not?
Oh, yeah, it's totally out of control here. There is maybe a few hundred people. It's starting to actually fill up. There's more people inside TD Garden waiting for the Pro Shop and Dunkin' to open than the people outside. But it's pretty warm. It's pretty warm out here. There's maybe a few hundred people right directly in front of the TD Garden. But if you go down the street, there's like no one there.
Okay,
no one at all.
So if you're headed there now, you have plenty of room. Now, can I ask you how it was getting in via train? You took the train in. How was that today?
It was great. It was no issues or anything like that. It was fine. So no issues at all. It was pretty smooth. So
all right. So where are you posted up right now?
I am posted up right by the movie theater next to the main entrance of North Station or TD Garden. So that's where I'll be. I'm probably going to go across the street to Hurricanes. I know they're starting to set up for the Bert transfer broadcast. But now I'm going to be walking around trying to get audio. So.
Well, listen, you can start drinking now because it just turned that magic hour, 8 a.m., where they can start serving alcohol at these places.
That's true.
All right, young Nicholas, thank you for checking in as we as it gets longer into the day and people start showing up. We look forward to hearing the atmosphere. Thank you for going out and talking to people, and we will check in with you next hour. Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, Scott said this is electric. I said, well, we're hopefully building to the parade.
Yes.
This is what
Zoe said that?
Yeah, that was a 2-minute check-in with Nick to just see where he is, what's going on, give people an idea that are headed down, and then we'll be there. I guess Scott's headed down there, too. He said there's no one down there right now, but there will be.
I'm sure he's thrilled with the drive.
I don't think he's excited at all, actually. All right, Bert, it's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out. We appreciate it. And I drove by the town you live in, and I went, "Wow, this is far from home."
Some empathy. I like it. Right? Like, yeah. I've been crucified over the last couple of years.
Oh no, it's your fault for moving there, and you need to figure out how to get here on time. But I'll tell you, it is very far.
Was on time today, for the record.
Bert was on time today, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. All right, Bert, thank you so much. There'll be no commercials here, just the headlines. When we come back, everyone loves to cuddle. Hardy loves to cuddle, and Hardy's going to tell us why.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios is the flagship station of the world champion Boston Celtics.
It is banner 18, mission accomplished.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston IA5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Celtics won a championship and went to Miami for a day to celebrate. Now comes the main event, a parade through the city. Al Horford can't wait.
Just a lot of great energy. I'm surprised that it got all the way pushed to Friday, so I feel like they know what they're doing. Like it's gonna be crazy, and I'm gonna enjoy every second of it.
A rolling rally to honor the NBA champions will begin at 11 a.m. outside of TD Garden, work its way by the Boston Common and end on Boylston Street next to the Heinz Convention Center. We'll continue our coverage of the event coming up next here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Lakers finally hired J.J. Redick as their new head coach yesterday. It is a 4-year contract for Redick worth $32 million. The Chicago Bulls have traded NBA All-Defensive second-team player Alex Caruso to Oklahoma City yesterday in exchange for point guard Josh Giddey. Less than 2 weeks after promising it was close to happening, Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson did indeed sign his contract extension with the team yesterday. It's a 4-year, $36 million extension with $17 million guaranteed. And the Red Sox had last night off. They pitched Cutter Crawford tonight in Cincinnati against the Reds in the opener of a 3-game series. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach of Boston Toll for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Pritchard, half court, it's in the air. He got it! He did it again!
Boston is home.
Peyton Pritchard with the world watching.
To the world champion Celtics.
He knocks down a half-court three.
Boston's home of the NBA champion, Boston Celtics. 98.5 The Sports Hub. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. Lockhart's in studio because our friend Rob Hardy Poole is out at the Travelers Championship. When you introduce yourself to the golfers, is it Rob? Robert? What do you call yourself? Bobby?
Well, it's not like I'm meeting a bunch of the golfers regularly, but no, just Hardy. And I think that's how the PR people, when you did the same thing at the Deutsche Bank when they bring you over. This is Fred, this is Hardy. They're going to be sitting down with you for a few minutes. So no, it's just Hardy.
Nah, all right. I mean, I thought you would want to get them to know at a more intimate level, but apparently we're just going to keep.
Fred, we'll get there eventually. But in the initial meet and greet, we keep it casual and professional.
Will you slide into their DMs afterwards? Like after
I have
the interview?
with one Brendan Steele, who had spent years on the PGA Tour, but he reached out to me one time because he heard me on the radio, and I reached back out to him, and we developed a bit of a relationship. I wouldn't call it a friendship, but enough to where when he does well in a tournament, I'll shoot him a text and congratulate him. Sure.
Yeah, pen pals. All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Well, after you're done with this, Hardy, you might need some intimacy.
Well, this is it intimacy or not, Fred? Because, you love the word proclivities, much like you like social mores and other phrases that seem to...
I'm blushing. You're showing everyone I'm an intellectual. Thank you. Well read.
But young Nicholas stumbled upon this and shared it with me. I immediately found it intoxicating. Mike Lockhart, who is in the studio with you, I believe, I think doesn't quite feel the same way.
No.
So I'm wondering how you feel just about this subject of cuddling, Fred. How do you feel when it comes to cuddling?
I despise it. I don't like it at all. I hate it. I don't. Post-coital cuddling after I've had sex with someone several times, I am not a fan of. But I do understand it in intimacy. But again, like at a certain point, it's like low class. It's like the fat lady and the real small guy at the amusement park rubbing backs. Like rubbing the big lady's back, like in the amusement park line, which since I've said that, I periodically throughout the year get people like, dude, I was just at, Cedar Point and there's just this little dude rubbing this big lady's back. Like at a certain point, at a certain point, it's just gross. And I think like it shows a little lack of intelligence.
Maybe she's just stressed because she's never ridden the demon drop before.
Or they're going to tell her.
He's trying to keep her calm down.
Or maybe she's afraid the demon drop's going to like lose its cable and somehow they'll crash to their deaths.
But some people are so into cuddling that that's all they want, and they will actually pay for it. Now, Mike Lockhart has spent a lot of time going through I spent a lot of time in my hotel room last night going through the social media channel of a professional cuddler. Now, Mike, you've got some of these things ready to go. These are from her TikTok. She has her own website. She is also on professional cuddling organization sites, and this is what she offers as a service, right, Lockhart?
Yes, it's very weird. It's I don't know who's doing this, but yeah, I didn't. Obviously, also I don't find this lady very attractive, so I don't understand.
Oh, you're
the whole
so
thing.
wrong. You're so wrong.
All right, so she cuddles men, right?
Well, and women.
Okay, but if I'm a man and I'm cuddling with a woman, I'm going to get aroused. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to get aroused. I mean, if we're spooning.
Addressed that in one of the videos. I found it to be a little too much for the radio, but she said there are boundaries, and as long as it doesn't go beyond that, that's just part of the process. It happens in a massage, too.
No. Massage is different. Does she caress you lightly while holding you?
Maybe we should hear from her.
Because there's no way you're not going to get an erection. I mean, you just are. It's not shocking. I mean, that's what happens when females touch heterosexual men lightly.
I prefer you didn't use that word when we're talking about cuddling, Fred. It's not about that. Do you understand? This is about cuddling. This is about a little bit of intimacy, nurturing, cuddling. It's just cuddling.
Yeah, I know, but a boner is a boner is a boner. It doesn't really matter how it happens. I mean, it's kind of
social mores, Fred. You can't say that.
Oh, tit for tat. I couldn't think of anything smart. All right, here we go.
Joie de vivre.
Classic clandestine's a big word. All right, here we go.
How did I get into cuddling? It was actually a suggestion from a friend. He was like, you should be a professional cuddler.
Yeah.
As a suggestion from a friend, if you can believe this, somebody suggested I become a cuddler, and
whatever shuts you up
professionally.
Whatever gets you to stop talking. Sure, cuddle away. Why don't you bury your mouth into my shoulder?
And I was like, LOL, that doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah. You saw this on TikTok, did you?
I know, shocking. It doesn't seem like the type of person who does a lot of posting on TikTok, but
I wonder if she was
yes.
a hoodie with the boogie last night, or a boogie with the hoodie last night.
And then one day I was really bored, and I looked into it. And I went to this rabbit hole of research about it, and I'm like...
Research.
Yes, beakers, Bunsen burners.
She went to the public. She went to the college library and started
pie
studying.
charts. Yeah.
My God, this is real. And I joined Cuddle Comfort, and I became a pro. And through trial and error, I don't know.
And many messed up pants. I mean, trial and error. I mean, a lot of mistakes.
LOL. OMG. That's not a thing. It's a thing. Cuddlecomfort.com.
What's the word? I'm only talking to myself. You can't tell me what the word is. Perfected my craft, I guess.
Those are several words.
Yeah.
You couldn't think perfected?
My craft.
You moron.
I've been doing it for 1.5 years now. It's been a wild ride, but it's been really good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been a wild ride.
Pet sounds just on a loop in that woman's apartment when she's doing her cuddle sessions.
All right, so we know that she fell down the rabbit hole of research, and she's been doing it for 1.5 years, and we've met the woman, and now it continues.
How I prepare for a cuddle session. First,
I'm a woman, and then I lay down. How do I prepare for a cuddle, sir? I find guys with a lot of childhood trauma.
I'm an even mildly or average attracted looking female. I let men know that I'm available for something, and I watch my inbox just fill up.
You know,
the phone won't stop ringing.
Guys who are really afraid to have sex, I look for them, and then I go, I'll let you pay me to hold me. Something that I would pay to not do. All right, here we go.
How I prepare for a cuddle session. First, I need to change and get out of these clothes and into PJs. Then, I have to make my bed and make it look presentable.
All right, these are all things that a 5-year-old could do, but here we go.
It has to look good and comfortable for the cuddlies that come over.
That's true, because the guy that's paying to hold you would be really out of sorts if the bed wasn't made.
That's right.
You mean you don't just want like a flat piece of plywood and a bunch of steel girders? Oh no, you want it to look nice and comfortable.
I have a feeling
I'm gonna write these down in case I want to get into this as a side hustle.
I have a feeling some of these guys would prefer it on a bed of nails. Like, I really do. Like, whatever punishes me. Yes. Can we get as close as possible with no release? Edging, I believe it's called. And by the way, I'm married. If you could have a gentleman come over to pleasure my wife while we're cuddling.
Oh. Go home and catch the end of that.
Yeah, and
it's
then
a distant cousin of soaking. There's not.
This part really needs to be done well because it's a big part of the very first impression. Curtains cannot be open. Too much light will get in, so they gotta be closed. Then I change my default playlist to something more soothing, such as light jazz. Afterwards...
Oh, yeah, because
crank up the Kenny G. Let's go.
No. You know these guys all have community jazz shows. Yeah, if you go left of the dial like Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, these guys are, hey...
I prefer some of the subgenres. Subgenres like acoustic scat singing.
Are you saying that Dan O'Brien is a cuddler? Is this how he's getting to Hawaii?
Acapella scat singing is the best soundtrack for cuddling.
Afterwards, I might light a candle or put some nice scents in my diffuser, such as lavender or eucalyptus.
Afterwards, I light a candle in the bathroom because I have to evacuate before I do this.
And then I will dim the lights to set the tone for the cuddle session. And afterwards, honestly, we're ready to go.
All right.
She can instruct you though, Fred. She has ways of mentoring you, and she offers other services.
I like to be told what to do. I'll tell you,
go.
whatever makes things easier.
Do you want a cuddle session, but we're not in the same state? Well, I also offer virtual sessions, either audio call or video chat. This is just a great way for us to connect with one another, and we can talk about anything, really.
Oh, so you can have a phone conversation. What is that different than anything else?
Well,
so it's
a normal phone conversation won't cost you $120 an hour. This one will. That's the difference.
So it's phone sex where I can't play with myself.
Basically.
Hi. I'd like to pay a really annoying woman to not talk dirty to me. How is that possible? Why don't you just call the operator? Just call the library. Hi. How are things at the library? Oh, they're okay.
Call
okay.
the radio station.
Yeah, just call a radio station. Going, Ryan. Yeah, they stay in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot and threaten the staff. Like Hardy's friend did to me.
Goals that you have, things that you're struggling with, things in your mind that you really want to talk through.
Yeah, don't go to a professional therapist that has the schooling. Just go to this moron that is a lightweight, a prostitute light.
It really is a great therapy session, and it can be 30 minutes, an hour, longer. I'm here to work with you.
I'm thinking about killing myself. What do you say? Do it. Live your life.
Let's cuddle.
Do what you want. I mean, I can't. I'm not there, so I can't cuddle you. So, I mean, really, what should I tell you?
Fred, would you care to guess where this woman is based? What city? I will give you a hint. It is one of your least favorite parts of the country.
Phoenix?
No. South. Closer to Boston, though.
South, closer to Boston. What am I?
So further east. South, but east.
Southeast.
Miami?
Oh, Charlotte?
Wallach's got the right state. Tampa.
Oh,
she is in Tampa.
If this sounds like something you're really interested in, you can DM me here or find me under Cuddle Comfort under the username Cuddle Crasher.
So you don't even cuddle. You just talk on the phone with people. And
Well, sometimes.
And finally, what is this, Hardy?
I believe this is another service that she offers.
All right, thank you.
I don't know why I'm not getting any cuddlers. I have the perfect profile.
Oh my God.
She's got production elements in these videos.
That's every guy who hears her voice is groin. That's when they walk in the room and see her for the first time. It's Bill Belichick's girlfriend's parents.
Oh my.
I wish you could see her acting this out, too, as she's pacing back and forth in her one bedroom, mimicking somebody who is trying to be a professional cuddler but not having any success.
It was
she's an actress, is what she is.
Yeah, it was when Nick applied to his first college and they opened up the transcript.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know what I'm doing.
Ooh, she's a really good actress.
Okay, can you cuddle me now? So the cuddler just messaged me and he wants to do a session at 2 a.m. and for me to pick him up. I mean...
He's 12.
I guess so. Why not?
Yeah, there's no chance he kills you.
This is a montage of issues that could face a first-time professional cuddler, Fred. Now, why don't you let her... work her magic. Now she's painted several pictures for us, and now I believe she's going to provide solutions.
Are you wanting to be a pro cuddler? Well, one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, how do I get into this? Well, after doing this for quite some time, I'm now offering a virtual mentorship session.
You just wait for sex offenders to get out of jail. Get a nice list and find the release dates and stand outside the prison.
Maybe you guys missed my earlier TikTok, but I've been doing this for almost 18 months. So now I'm ready to mentor.
Where it's one-on-one, you and me, and I will teach you all about the ins and outs of the professional cuddling world and how to be a successful cuddle pro. In that one-on-one session, I will help you learn how to build an inviting profile, how to go into a cuddle session confidently, how to message the cuddlers, etc., things like that. I am going to start doing live streams every Sunday starting June 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is going to be a live virtual cuddle session. So join me, ask all your cuddle cues, and literally whatever else you want. See you there.
I will be there 2 days from now.
Happy times together we
She talks about everything but the actual service of cuddling the guy. I mean, like...
Yeah, well, believe it or not, those videos are not all that interesting. She talks about cuddling positions, and believe it or not, they're things like on your back, on your side. But okay, what else? And the one that was actually a little too blue to talk about on the radio, what happens when someone does get aroused.
Well, I can tell you what happens. This is what their pants say.
Does she have a video about escaping a trunk?
Exactly. Exactly. I found
a good question.
You have to look for the handle inside the trunk. You can also punch out the taillight and stick your hand out to let motorists who are behind you know that you're inside.
Always keep a cell phone hidden so you can call from inside the trunk, and because your cell phone has a tracking beam.
You guys, you need to work on your kicking and screaming. Okay.
All right. Very good. Thank you. I'm never. You know, and I go. It would never surprise me what guys are into, but I don't think she gets business. I'm guessing that she seemed to offer an awful lot of services.
For being at it for 18 months, and it's like, I got to branch this thing out. I can't pay the rent. I got to go virtual. I got to go mentoring. I got to do all kinds of other stuff because this ain't paying the bills.
Yeah, you would think that you would be pretty knee deep in dudes. Like, you know, like it doesn't sound like that's the case. All right. Thank you, Hardy. We got Dan Roche.
Oh, that's not right.
This is Dan Roche when he goes to play catch with his dad.
Oh, man. Dan Roche in the graveyard. You're not going to play the sounder for that one? All right. Thank you.
No. I want to keep talking sex, Fred.
Oh, where is he? How did he just come on? Oh, that was a clip. Oh, okay. I was like, wow, that sounds like something he'd say. All right, very good. We'll be back in just a moment.
found those and sent them to me this morning. So, yeah, that's a pick with me and Red Auerbach. And Jeff Twist, the PR, longtime PR guy here with the Celtics, set it up for me. And he brought me into Red's office, and Red was smoking a cigar, and it was like one of the greatest opportunities for me to be able to talk to Red Auerbach. And to be honest with you, Fred, I don't even remember what the heck I asked him. It was just more of having the opportunity to sit down with him and chat for about 15, 20 minutes to play back at BZ Radio years and years and years ago. So it was a highlight for me, right up there with interviewing Ted Williams. Those kind of guys that you hear so much about, know so much about, but having the opportunity to talk to him was a thrill for me. So, yeah, I posted that this morning because my wife sent it to me, and I'm like, that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? But, yeah, my sweater is ugly, and I'm very young looking, but I do have gray hair. I had gray hair back in high school, so it's been a while.
But you kept it, and it's a beautiful head of it. So when you're talking to a guy like Auerbach, how you've been around Boston sports for so long, so it's a time to reflect, right? Because it's a victory parade today and an 18th championship, and a team's got more championship than anyone else, unless you want to cheat and count the Minneapolis Lakers, which have no affiliation with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, they have 12 in L.A. and 5 in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and those were before people could walk, really. And so, when Auerbach was in charge, and to now, how much have things changed? I mean, it's a totally different situation. I know they practiced in a dump in Brighton,
Hellenic College,
and Auerbach was the man about town. Like, how much have things changed?
Well, yeah, Fred. Back then, I was working for Kurt Gowdy's radio stations up in Lawrence. And I was able to go to a lot of these different games and events and things like that. And I remember going to Hellenic College, and it was so casual. You know what I mean? They'd be sitting. I remember Kevin McHale and Bert and those guys just sitting on the remember like at the Catholic schools, the old gymnasiums where it was the cafeteria as well, and there was no room to play basketball in. Once you put the ball up and in, it was a stage.
Yeah, I've been to Hellenic College. Yeah. Real quickly, and then I want you to tell your story. My son had a camp at Hellenic College, and I went, why the hell is there a camp here? It's a dump. I came on the air next day and said, my son was at a school in Brighton. It's a dump. And then John said, that's weird. The Celtics used to practice around there. And I go, what was it? He goes, Hellenic College. I go, that's where my son was. So I know, for people who don't know, you go, Fred, oh, you're so cynical and you're such an a-hole, which is all true. Yeah. But I'm telling you, Hellenic College, if your kid was playing basketball
there's a stage
you go, what's
on
going
one side of the gym. There's a legit stage where you'd put on a play on one side of the gym.
Yes, and that's the atmosphere. That's what I said. So I was lucky enough to start right while I was going to Syracuse at this radio station in Lawrence that Kirk Gowdy owned forever, and that was like in the mid '80s, right around '83, '84. So I would just go in with my radio, my tape recorder, and my mic, and you'd be able to talk to anybody. And I was in the locker room after they beat the Houston Rockets to win an NBA championship, and you're Larry Bird and all those guys. There were so fewer media back then that it was much more accessible, easy. Those guys were just easy to talk to. They were fun. So yeah, all those guys. It was just like a thrill for me to be able to do that. Talk to a guy like that, and then years later set up something with Ted Williams on the radio. Sounded like I was interviewing John Wayne, the old actor, because of his just his booming voice and things like that. So those are the things that you look back on and remember. And now with my wife sending that, I look back on this and said, I think this is my 13th parade, somewhere around there, covering, maybe more. But it's like one of those things you don't take for granted when you step out here. So you can feel the atmosphere. You can feel the electricity as these guys are ready to step on duck boats. And the coolest thing for me in these situations is you have no idea. None of these players have any idea, and you guys know this, what it's like to go through the city in a duck boat on a parade. And you can say it to someone. You can talk about it. I had the privilege of being on with Kapler, Trot Nixon, Veritek, and Mirabelli in the 2004 parade, being on a boat with them, being in the water, and just seeing thousands of people on the Charles. And when you say to them, what do you think? Oh, it'll be fun, blah, blah, blah. When they come back from it, they're like, holy smokes. it sets in. Like, it really sets in that you won a world championship, which is going to be cool for this group to watch them do that. So looking forward to that today.
Yeah, it's amazing. They asked me because they were doing 15th anniversary of the Sports Hub interviews, and they're like, what was the biggest thing at the Sports Hub? And I say, I had no business being in it, and the only reason I was in it is the station had a couple slots, and management was cool enough to put me on it. But I was in the 2011 parade, and even though no one was there to see me, that parade was insane. That was well over 1 million people, and I have video of it, and I showed it to my daughter, and she was not impressed at all. And I said, what did you think this was going to look like? How could this have been better for you, Zoe?
What would it take to make an impression on you one way or the other? Your dad on a duck boat going through the streets of downtown Boston in front of millions of people and them losing their minds. Doesn't move the needle.
She goes, are you going to go to the Celtics parade? I go, no. And she goes, Mom asked me if I wanted to go, but I don't want to go. And she goes, were you ever in one? And she asked. And I said, I was in one. And I go, it was awesome. And I'm like, do you want to see a video of it? I just go 2011 on my phone. I have videos of it. And there's a video, Artie, of me it's not even, I'm not showing my face in it like an a-hole, but I'm like panning around the crowd, and I'm telling you, not exaggerating, 40 deep on the street. And she's like, yeah, she like took her eyes off the phone. It's a 30-second video. Like you can't, what did you think it was? You asked to see it. What did you think it was going to look like? My goodness, I'm with you though. I told Forsberg the same thing. I'm being serious. It's a tremendous experience, and for even players who play in arenas and stadiums, it's still insane. The city closed down for you, 30 people deep for a mile. It's crazy.
And I think that
it's a sea of people everywhere, Fred. And the cool thing I remember coming out of Fenway Park on that duck boat is exactly. Joe Giza found an old tape that I had shot by myself, video. And being on the duck boat, and the first thing you see is two guys just as you enter the street, as you come through Fenway Park and out to the street. There's one guy standing there and yelling at Trot, saying, "Now I can die in peace. Now I can die in peace." And it's like,
and then he
Trot
ate a
showed
bullet.
that to his kids. Trot showed that to his kids, who are both played in the College World Series this year with NC State. But he showed it to his kids, and his kids were like, "Yeah, oh, that's great. That's really cool." You know what I mean? It's just like that same type of reaction. But you don't understand that. And the cool thing, though, that if you want to take the other side of this, too, is there's a lot of kids growing up here that, yes, it's only been 6 years or whatever since the parade, but they'll get a feeling in this city, if they go to the parade, what it's like to win a world championship in this city. So at least for a lot of them people that are in high school now and maybe college, that they get to experience that, which is kind of cool today as well.
So, Dan, I wanted to tell you this because I know you question my parenting skills because I've never taken my kids to Disney. But my daughter just last night informed us she wanted to go to the parade, and my wife and I talked about it. We're like, back and forth, because she also wanted to go to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Southie. We're like, no, you're not doing that. No. Yeah, we'll be the mean parents that say no. But for this one, I was on her side. I'm like, yeah, I think you should go. It's an experience. You and your friends should be able to experience this today. And I supported her in that endeavor. And I think you would approve of that, Dan.
Well, the other thing I approved of, too, to hear you say, Hardy, now you know why I do and why I love what I do even more so, is the way you talked about your best friend's son winning a high school state championship and how cool it was out in Michigan. Yeah. That's what I love. I mean, it still comes down to the games, right? People say, oh, what do you love about your job? It's the games, watching the games and watching the emotion and watching the feeling. Being in Dallas, seeing the Celtics get blown out and everyone start to question them back the other way after so many impressive outings that they had. And then being here when they won the world championship, even on the high school level, I still think it's cool to watch the kids experience that, or college in the bean pot and things like that. That's what I love. I love the games, and that's why I continue to do what I do and love with a passion what I do, because you get events, you get things like that and the emotion. And to hear you say that about your friend playing at Michigan State or what have you was really, really cool.
All right, what's going on down there? Where are you camped out, and is it getting crowded? What's going on?
I have the the wonderful job, excuse me, the wonderful job today of I'm here now. The duck boats are out in front. Going inside to watch the little half-hour ceremony that's starting at 10 o'clock. We're going to be on BZ TV starting at 10 a.m. So after we're done that, I come outside here, and I am what they call the pool reporter that has to interview or try to get interviews with the players as they get on board the duck boats here for all the TV stations. And then after that, Cedric, Maxwell, and I are walking across the street to our podium, and Max and I will be part of our parade coverage on BZ from 10 to 1:30, 2 o'clock, whenever we're on till 3 o'clock. We'll be doing that, and then when the parade's over, I come back here and try to get drunk guys to talk to me about how great the parade was. So I become Adolfo. I become Nick at that point in my in my life. But
You're
it's
so
always fun.
lucky to be like Nicholas.
That's a privilege, my friend.
Oh, sweet Nicholas. Just don't let your heart get the best of you and end up passed out in a bed covered in your own poo.
I'm not fearful of that because I have to do the 5 and the 6. I have to anchor back at the station, so I'm not worried about that part.
Where will you defecate during the parade if you have to go potty? No, I'm just kidding. All right, Dan Roche. WBZ Television's going to have all your parade coverage. He's the best. Danny, we love you. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you too, fellas.
All right,
See you, Dan.
we'll be back. Danny Roche, and while we're soaking up that excitement, you got our own Hardy at the not the Deutsche Bank, at the Travelers Championship in Connecticut.
Cromwell, Connecticut, TPC River Highlands. Beautiful, beautiful day out here, Fred.
All right. You enjoy yourself. We will be back in just a matter of moments. Okay, guys?
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics are back in town after a 24-hour trip to Miami. They'll be honored by the city at a duck boat parade today in downtown Boston. Road closures on and around the route begin at 9. The event begins outside of TD Garden at 11 a.m. It'll end at the Heinz Convention Center on Boylston Street. This is, of course, all to celebrate the Celtics' 18th championship. Other news in the NBA, Lakers have agreed to terms with J.J. Redick on a 4-year deal to become their new head coach. Patriots locked up running back Ramondre Stevenson. It's a 4-year contract extension worth $36 million. Red Sox had last night off. They're in Cincinnati tonight. And round 2 of the Travelers Championship underway in Cromwell, Connecticut. Tom Kim is on the course. He's got a 3-shot lead now at 9 under par. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Boston Vision. Go where Gerard Mayo went for his LASIK surgery and visit the eye pros at Boston Vision. Book a free evaluation today at bostonvision.com because your best vision is Boston Vision. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
The Celtics bring home number 18.
Confetti guns shooting green and white confetti. Into the corner for Breer. Ow.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Don't worry about it, Hardy. He's glad handing out at the Travelers Championship right now, where he is. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel, but look no further than our own. Oh, by the way, I put on my Instagram page at Fred Toucher. I put the little quick video of myself on the duck boat in 2011.
Oh,
and I did sadly pan to my own face at the end like a total douche, but I took the rap on it, and I did tag Summer's Eve in it, so I do have that going for me. So if you want to see that, that's up. It is cool. It is cool to be out there, and so if you're going out to the parade, you're going to enjoy it. Nicholas,
hello.
Oh, Nicholas, how
Hello.
long did it take you to walk to your location? Now, how long?
It's a lot more tougher to get around the down
Yeah,
here
with
because
those
it's
legs.
starting to really fill up. It's starting to really fill up.
It is filling up. Where are you stationed now?
Right. Actually, I popped into Hurricanes for a quick second, so I'm out right outside Hurricanes right now. But I was out closer to the TD Garden, interviewing a few people. And, like I said, it's starting to really fill up. You're starting to see a lot more people walking to the parade route. And,
When you were in Hurricanes, were there a lot of people drinking?
Yeah, they just opened the doors a couple of minutes, 30 minutes ago or something.
Because that's a power move. 8 a.m., right when the bar opens. I mean, that's when you got to get there. And that's where the true legends
Those
lie.
are guys with a plan. Those are people with a plan. This is how I'm going to spend my day. I'm not going to remember much.
Unless you have some sort of amphetamine, I got news for you. You're going to be out in this sun and that alcohol this early. You're going to be out early. But listen, you get your hands on some kind of amphetamine.
Do the amphetamines help with the dehydration, Fred?
No. You're putting yourself in some heart risk. But nonetheless, as you know, Hardy, that can get you. You can get you going again. I mean, there's no. Have you ever met someone who did cocaine exclusively so they could drink more? That I have. They were just like, "Oh, it's great. I can keep going later into the night." And you're like, "All right, that's fantastic."
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not the best idea, but it works. I mean, they're not wrong about the cause and effect.
You can do way more damage to your body. Congratulations. You've stood up much longer. No, I understand none of this idea. I'm being facetious, but the crowds are growing. What is the demographics, Nicholas? For instance, how many kids and their estranged fathers are around there?
A lot of kids. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of kids, but there's a whole bunch of people, like different demographics. But I just ran into Lau. He brought his son down here. There's a lot of parents with a lot of their kids, and but there's a lot of people looking to have a good time today.
Okay, and so it's mostly parents with their kids right now, or is it like is it like a rowdy crowd, or what's going on?
Parts of the crowd are somewhat rowdy. Yes.
Okay.
Some not so much.
Are you expecting great displays of destruction today, Nicholas?
I hope not.
Well, I would hope not too.
But weird things have happened, so I guess we'll see. But I'm gonna say no.
Okay,
no,
very
not
good.
a lot. Yeah,
because Hardy and I were around in 1984 for that Tigers celebration. Did they have
I don't
a
think
parade?
that's gonna happen.
Did they even have a parade, Hardy? There's no way, right?
I think maybe they did. I don't even know if they did a rally downtown.
Yeah, I'm not positive that they could have done that.
No, because the riots and everything happened immediately after they won, so they probably just barricaded the city for like a week afterward and didn't allow anyone in or out. It was like Escape from New York.
Yeah. Yeah, they did have a parade.
Wow.
Wow, they did. And then, according to Vintage Detroit, it was a high point for the history of Detroit.
Yeah,
as they
how nice
had to avoid all the ruins of the burnt down buildings that existed
like some
there.
futuristic scene where the hollowed out cars are still burning.
You know who
the roof
hosted
didn't take
it?
them through the cast corridors, so they were probably okay.
You know who hosted the rally? If you had to guess.
Bobby Higginson.
No, he was a young man.
Who hosted the rally? Was it what was it a news anchor?
No, but it was someone not in sports. You are correct. They were in broadcasting.
Arthur P.
No, that's not good. You're getting even warmer.
J.P. McCarthy.
That's even a better guess. A man by the name Dick Purton.
That's why I got into radio. Fred.
Who is that?
Dick Purton.
Dickie P. He
That's
had a big old mustache, and he was on a boring show, but he was famous. Famous.
Okay.
He had glasses and a mustache. He looked like a Groucho Marx.
And it was not a boring show. It was Purton's People. Dick Purton's People. That was the show.
Yeah, I never cared for it. You were a big fan of his?
Yeah. That's what we listened to in my house.
No,
we listened to it all the time.
You listened to JJ in the Morning Crew. Get out of here.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
Hacks.
did. All right. Well, thank you, Nicholas. Keep out there. Keep us up to date on what's going on, all right?
Absolutely. See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye, Nicholas.
You know what that amphetamine and the drinking thing reminded me of, Fred? Lenny Clark once told me that back when he was out there up to his shenanigans, they used to, for a nightcap, he used to mix himself up a cocktail of whiskey and NyQuil because it had the dual benefit of helping him to go to sleep and also acted as a decongestant from all the booger sugar he had been doing throughout the night. And not only was I not shocked by it, I was a little bit jealous that I didn't know that trick and think of it myself 25 years ago. What a great idea.
I always just think it's interesting, though, that NyQuil would have any effect on anyone that's been doing those kinds of pharmaceuticals, like those kinds of putting those kinds of drugs into your system, than an over-the-counter drug. But then again, we've talked to people in the military that were doing night watches, and they would just chug NyQuil or Robitussin and then have very, very bad experiences. All right. Cedric Maxwell had a great experience. He is not going to be part of the parade, though. He is doing work today, and he will join us in just a moment to give his thoughts on this wonderful championship team.
Toucher and Hardy. 98. champion Boston Celtics.
Now, Breer got it.
Ask was a bomb squad coming out tonight.
WBZFM and HD 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Today is the day for the Celtics, who will be the guests of honor at a duck boat parade through the streets of Boston to celebrate their championship. The rolling rally is set to kick off at 11 a.m. this morning outside of TD Garden and end on Boylston Street in front of the Heinz Convention Center. We've got live coverage of this event before, during, and after right here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub. And other NBA news, the Lakers have found their head coach. It is NBA TV analyst J.J. Redick, and they have reportedly agreed on a 4-year, $32 billion contract with him. The Patriots have signed running back Ramondre Stevenson to a 4-year contract extension worth $36 million. Red Sox had last night off. They're in Cincinnati tonight. And in golf, Tom Kim is on the course. He's your leader by 3 shots during the early stages of the second round of the Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Massachusetts Energy Marketers Association, Clean Renewable Bioheat Fuel. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
The retired jerseys and everything else, because at that age I can only assume you only know the recent history. You don't know 1960s Celtics and what that means. So how long does it take you to understand the totality of it all?
I would say just throughout that season, I had no idea who Cedric Maxwell was. I thought he was just like a radio guy. I didn't know that he played on the team and he won Finals MVP. So there were just different instances throughout the season, my rookie year, where I would learn about different people that played an intricate part in this organization, the history throughout the Celtics, and what the Celtics mean to the game of basketball.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. I don't think there's any danger of ever hearing the phrase Detective Tatum, as Cedric Maxwell's the 6'9" dude.
Yeah.
Calling the basketball games. Perhaps he does have a background in that field. Cedric Maxwell is the Celtics color analyst on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. And Max is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Boston Celtics playoff coverage is presented by Amica Insurance. The Celtics chase Banner 18, which they've won. Visit Amica.com today to learn more about Amica's award-winning customer service. Max joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Max, now Tatum loves you and knows you, I assume.
Yeah, I think he knows who I am. I'm that dude, and I'm actually here right now in the arena. The quiet before the storm. Nobody's in the arena right now. I think they got looks like 18 chairs on the floor. And, it's like it's going to be crazy. It's like there's going to be 1 million people plus. The weather's crazy, and people have lined up outside already.
Now, who are you on a duck boat with today? Oh, you're not going on a duck boat today because you're working. You chose not to be on a duck boat.
My friend, obviously you don't know me. I can be on a duck boat throwing out T-shirts, or I can be outside getting money. I think I'm going to be the getting money. Johnny Wallach, tell him who I am, would you?
He's the guy who leaves about 3 minutes early before the end of the first half to make sure he gets the cash in the suite during halftime. That's who Max is.
Absolutely. Man, are you serious?
You will do anything to avoid Grandy. My God.
I want to throw out some damn T-shirts. Are you serious? No, not at all, dog. I'm here right now with just sitting in the arena is going to be crazy here.
Yeah. All right. So you called in to Felger and Maz the day after the championship. What did you want to say to those guys? What I know you watched the show. What did you want to say to them, and what compelled you to do that?
Hey, Felgy, they're not going to win it. I know it right now. This is what's going to happen, Felgy. They're going to choke right now. I know these guys are going to choke. And here's Felger. Yeah, you're right there. You're right, man. Are you serious, dog? They're up 3-1. All we've talked about is complaining. I'm not like I got on Felger's show the other day when he's on TV. Actually, balling me. How about them damn Celtic T-shirts? So it's been crazy around the sports hub. Mary, our grand poobah, she asked me, Max, you want your spot on the duck boat? I said, absolutely not. She's like, really?
And then Mary's like, I'll take it.
Mary, I'm good, Mary. I'm good. You can fill it with somebody else. Put the Wallachs up there. I'm good.
Oh, Mary didn't do that.
Excuse me, they don't have a riot situation in the streets of downtown Boston. Wallach rolling through there.
And we'd have flooding just from women getting so excited from seeing John. Can you imagine the babies born today, Max, if John was on a duck boat?
Sir, you know, when you say that, there's a great story that comes along with that. It had to be 25 years ago when they tore down the old garden, and they had all this paraphernalia, and they had these, fans came in so you could sign stuff. And this lady, she comes up to me. She has 2 chairs. And just the chairs that were in the garden. I was like, okay. She said, these chairs are very special. I was like, okay, well, how special are they? She says, well, my children were conceived in these chairs. Really?
Wait,
really?
At the garden? Like in the chair at the garden?
At the garden. At the garden. And she, she got a little bit bolder. She said, at a rock concert. I'm like, you white people, y'all do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
At a rock concert.
No black people have ever had public intercourse. You're right, Cedric.
Not in the garden, I can tell you that. Not in the garden, I can tell you that.
All right. Real quick, SEC championship game. I'm working at a bar right next to the Georgia Dome where the game's being held. We had stairs inside the restaurant. It's inside the restaurant. It leads to another dining area. There's a bunch of people sitting drinking on the stairs. We notice there's a woman sitting on her boyfriend's lap or the guy she's with lap facing him. Then someone goes, look closer. We look, and his pants are around his knees, and her dress is hiked up. They're effing at 2 p.m. in our restaurant, and it was fantastic, and no one made them stop.
Let me ask you this. Were they white or were they black?
They were white, but I was in Atlanta, so you didn't know that for a fact.
You proved my point.
You didn't know that for a fact.
Thank you coming to my house. We are privileged here. We are privileged.
Yeah.
Mr. Grandy's here.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Mr. Grandy standing in front of me now with his family. And
is he retiring?
That I don't know. That's not. I can't do that breaking. Jay, what are you doing? I'm thinking of all these people who never have on, shorts are actually here in the building right now.
Okay. All right. So when people were complaining about the Celtics, when you look at this team, I know it's trite, but you're a Finals MVP. You were a guy that's won here. Mm-hmm. Your number's retired. When you look at this team, do you see like a dynasty? Do you see one of the great Celtics teams of all time?
If this team is healthy, they can make some moves. They can do some special stuff. What I love about this team, there does not seem to be any egos. Everybody's put that to the side. Tatum and Brown, your 2 leaders, they love each other and love playing with each other. The starting 5 or the starting 7 are already intact. And so all you're looking now is to bring on other players, other people. And I think that happens easily, especially if people are thinking right now about winning a championship. There might be some guys who's like, if I could just be with this team. Well, I think the Celtics will be able to add on. But they already have a solid 8. So now I think they're just going to maybe look at some more people. And if Porzingis comes back, he's healthy, I think that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Max, I want to know about your parade that you've been involved with in the early 80s. How different was it then than it is now?
The first parade in 1981, that was really cool. It was really cool because, it was obviously my first championship, Larry's first championship. Your boy was the Finals MVP. It was really cool being in the crowd. We were at City Hall. Larry said something about Moses Malone, and he eats some cow manure. So it was really cool. The second one in 1984, I didn't go to the parade. I wasn't on the duck boats. I was a free agent that year, and I was actually getting married 4 days later. So I was in the barbershop looking at the parade. So,
do you regret that? Do you regret that looking back?
No. What did I miss?
Okay.
What did I miss? I missed another. If you've been to one parade, another parade isn't necessarily, all these people screaming and yelling and all that stuff. I mean, the first one was cool. I had a great time, but after that, it's like, But winning a championship is ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what makes you happy.
Well, Max, I would also think, because I was going to ask essentially the same thing, but in a different way, if there was a difference in the feeling of being a part of that, number one, as an MVP, because it wouldn't take me much to convince myself that all those people are just cheering for me. I mean, I was the MVP of that series, and this parade is really as much about me as it is for the team. I wonder what it would be like to be on the other side of that if you're a bench player or like a role player. If there's I'm sure you're still having a good time and celebrating, but the what you take away from it has to be something different.
Well, I think it is different for everybody, but I love the way Brian Scalabrine said. This is the one time I will quote him, is when he said, "Look, when he came to the podium after the championship game they won in 08. People are like, what are you doing here?" He said, 5 years from now, I would have scored 10 points. 15 years from now, I would have been the Finals MVP. So you just embrace it, and the fact that very few people are able to do that. That's what makes it so beautiful. The fact that you were able to do something that most people weren't able to do, and that's the beauty of winning the championship. And winning it here in Boston, I'm just sitting up here looking now, and just it's so surreal. 2024 world champions, and all the stuff that comes along with it. I was on TMZ the other day, and I was.
So was I.
Yeah. What were you there for?
I made fun of Bill Walton after he died. All right, what did you get on TMZ for?
No, TMZ had me on, and they wanted me actually to heckle the Lakers. I think you guys probably saw me after the game. Michael Wilborn was doing a live hit for Sports Center, and I ran up behind him. I'm like, how about them damn Lakers? How about them damn Celtics? And then I went from there. I said, bye-bye, Lakers. And then so they had me on, and, they talked about Michael Thompson and all these people. Their articles been written about the older players, the hatred. Magic Johnson coming out saying, oh, you guys got another banner. You're on top of us. So it's just the craziness of it, the beauty of it, just to antagonize the Laker fans. This is absolutely wonderful for me.
Yeah, I do really respect a lot of things about you, but I really do respect that you still are it still matters to you that you still don't like those guys. That it's not phony.
He heckles the Lakers broadcast team.
No, it's not necessarily that. It's what you like about me is the fact I'm like you, and the fact that I will heckle people when I'm on top. I'm a great winner. I'm a great damn winner. I'm a pretty good loser, but I am a damn great winner. So if I get a chance to stomp on your head, especially if you're a Laker, Michael Thompson, or Magic, or whoever it is. But I did say this on TMZ. I said, but they said, you guys have 18 banners. The Lakers have 17. I said, oh, hold on a minute. They have that mid-season championship, so they actually have 18. And the guy just bust out laughing. So it's a beautiful thing to be in green today. The beautiful thing to be on you guys, our station today. And I was just thankful to get in here because outside the garden is crazy.
Really? Oh yeah, they're freaking out. They're very concerned about security, and they couldn't. And they were like Jason Tatum. They had no idea that you were part of any of this.
Here's what I love about all this. They said that the police said that they're going to stop people from drinking today.
Oh my God! Yeah, 1 million people. Good luck.
Okay, I'm like Anheuser-Busch is going. This is what I'm talking about. In Boston today, it's 80-some degrees. This is going to be crazy.
It's going to be awesome. Well, Cedric, listen, enjoy yourself. Have fun with all the press and media, and have fun making that money. I appreciate the hustle.
I will. Okay, have a good one.
All right, thank you, Cedric.
Thanks,
we
Max.
appreciate it. And the funny thing is with Max, he was like talking about how it's the white people having sex and only white people. And then it occurred to me it wasn't worth bringing up. Freaknik, Black Spring Break in Atlanta.
Oh, what is that like?
Outdoor sex.
Is that all that is?
How about in the middle of I-75, not in a car, in the middle of I-75?
That's a 6-lane highway, right?
Yes. A interstate highway. You say, Fred, what are you talking about? Well, there is a documentary now on Hulu, I believe. I haven't seen it yet, but it was awesome. It was kind of great. It was Black Spring Break in Freaknik, and college kids would come down, and instead of like going to the beach or something, they're in Atlanta. So there were so many of them, and there was nothing anyone could do, that they would go legit in the middle of the city. I-75 runs through Atlanta, park a bunch of cars, set up grills, start playing music, and just party in the middle of I-75, shut the city down, having sex, everything else, everything everyone else does in spring break on the beach, in Lake Havasu, wherever else.
Atlanta.
They did it in downtown Atlanta.
On Interstate 75.
Swear to God, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. I know it's a fact. I saw it. And I worked at a bar during that time in Midtown Atlanta. And no fun. And I told you, that's where I saw the big kid from Michigan State, the basketball player that went pro. He was so high, he ordered the menu, and then they just got up and left. All right. Very good.
It's a very bold move for the first person to stop their car on I-75 and start setting up the party. Because after you get, a few dozen cars stopped, then you realize there's a shutdown and people are going to slow down. To be the first 2 or 3, though, that's bold.
I think it's more like a convoy was going down the road, and then with the intention of I don't think you quite understand the city, the takeover of the city. It was something to behold. I have a bunch of pictures of it. If you ever come back if I ever have you come over to do some work at the condo.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good. You have a little photo album?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of stuff from Freaknik when I was a young man.
Oh, you know what? I saw it in your scrapbooking room. It was closed though, so I didn't see any of the photos inside. But
Thank
I
you.
saw it in there.
Yeah, when they're not finished project, I would appreciate it if you didn't look at them, because that.
Where did you get those dispenser rolls for your wrapping paper? Because those look professional grade, but very, very nice looking in the home as well.
Yeah, I know a guy at Party City and a guy at Home Goods, and I kind of put the brains together and made it happen.
Yeah. You bring in somebody from California Closets and then ties everything together.
I'm divorced. I don't have that kind of money. All right, listen, Hardy's over there at the Travelers Championship. Thank God. And we will continue. I have some emails for the people that I can read from the people, and also young Nicholas, sweet young Nicholas, who's at the parade, will check in with us again.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
Oh, hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. It is time for the email bit. We'll check in with Nicholas. He's been talking to people down at the parade as Hardy is at the Travelers Championship, as you can tell from all the people that have been coming in and out of his tent. Is it lonely there?
No, not at all. We got a nice little setup here. We are also next to the tent set up for the Barbados Tourism Board, and I checked in with those people yesterday because I went to Barbados once on a work trip and only got a chance to kind of visit the golf courses there. Didn't get a chance to play them, but now I want to go back. So yeah, this is a nice little set. We got a concession stand right across from us. Howie went over there like 3 times already.
I was about to say, what's up, Howie?
Yeah,
my man Howie.
There he is.
Freddie, how are you?
Howie is a great man. Howie, when we first started at the 98.5 The Sports Hub, I was like, we are going to fail. And Howie said, what are you talking about? You sound fine. You know as much as anyone else. And I said, oh, this is Howie, who's been with the team for a long time. And I went, all right, Howie, my main man Howie. You're fortunate to be out there with him, Hardy. All right, here we go. So Hardy is very annoyed by Kendra. It's not an act. It's real. He yells and screams. He's always in a bad mood. It's great that Hardy's on this show now because people are starting to finally understand how misunderstood I am and what a great person I am because we finally have true evil on this show. It says, Fred, I want to say at the start that I am a member of what should be the largest group of fan of both Kendra and Hardy. Her segment is always wonderful what she brings to the table, but it has become one of my favorite hours of the week on account of what she does to Hardy. It truly activates the theater of the mind when she screams something like, "Go off, King," and the silence that follows. You can practically see Hardy's spirit leaving his body. Every time she greets him with her unique pronunciation of Hardy, I imagine him forcing a smile while his eye twitches as his brain aches at the thought of what he's about to endure again. He clearly doesn't hate her. I even think he would help her with a move if she needed help with the furniture, though he would complain about it endlessly. Does he like her? No, not in the slightest. If flying to the Super Bowl and sitting next to Kendra Hardy would probably opt to take another ride on the bus. And yet he tolerates her, keeping his composure until he just can't take it anymore. Both people in this situation are relatable. There's Hardy, a man trapped in a room with someone against his will because she is a friend of his good friend. And there's Kendra, a woman who, like we all have at some point, must ask herself, I'm trying so hard to be nice, so why does he still hate me? As much as I would like this for this bit to happen, for them to bond, there's something magical, perhaps even inspiring about their transparent lack of friendship. No chemistry, no drama, no problem. We won't be friends with every person in our lives, but maybe, just maybe, we can strive for what Hardy and Kendra have. Is it weird? Yes. Uncomfortable? Without a doubt. But it is civil. Love the show, Christian.
That sparks a good question. Hardy, if Kendra actually contacted you in some way and asked you to help her with a move or to fix something in her apartment, would you do that?
Yeah, that would be too much for me to bear. I would give in to that temptation if it could involve any type of home improvement project. Yes, that I would do. But the notion of being friends with someone in their 20s, I mean, doesn't that just seem a little silly?
I'm friends
to begin
with her.
With Fred.
I'm friends with her.
Yeah, and it seems silly. Yeah, that's proving my point.
Why does it seem silly that Fred is friendly or friends with Kendra?
Because they have nothing in common.
How do you know?
And
I feel like I have
know
something in common with her.
You have something in common with Kendra that you both talk on the radio?
We're in the same business. That's one thing, sort of. I mean, I'm a huge success.
And?
There's things from our past.
The same books, do you?
Oh, yes, indeed. She's reading the Catherine Hanna book right now. All right, do you remember this clip, gentlemen?
No, what is that?
That is a woman that you know very well that Nick talked to after the Celtics won. Well, Matt says beers, and later CBS for a plan B. Why not? He's saying that she's getting. Let me see here. Oh, boy, this didn't transfer.
I have an email.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
again about the proposal. This proposal you have about the bet between me and Kendra and whoever loses, who has to do what. This person says, I was listening and heard Fred make the dumbest bet proposal between you and Kendra. I'm sure you would agree winning the bet and having to spend 2 hours with Kendra isn't really winning. He makes a point here because whether I win or lose, I still have to spend time with Kendra. So what this person proposes is a bet between you and Fred. If you lose the bet, Hardy, you have to spend 2 hours with Kendra doing whatever annoying thing you and Fred decide on. How do I know it's going to be annoying? Kendra will be there. And if Fred loses, he has to get an online cuddle session with that chick you had on earlier. Enjoy the tournament and long live the golf show. That's from Keith.
All right. I know you read that. It was that last sentence there. Here is one from Chris. Fred, unless something...
Sports Hub Golf Club, Sunday morning, 7 a.m.
Fred, unless something has radically changed with a Boogie with the Hoodie's performance over the last 8 years, it'll likely end up being even worse than you imagined. I saw a Boogie with the Hoodie. This is what I got yesterday at 12. This was from yesterday. I saw a Boogie with the Hoodie open up for Schoolboy Q and Lowell back in September of 2016. I'll preface this by saying I'm a fan of modern hip-hop and have seen a good amount of the biggest names, Travis Scott, Future, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Gunna, etc., in the trap scene perform. A Boogie with the Hoodie is easily among, if not the single worst of the bunch. He literally just ran around the stage and yelled as... to try to get the crowd hyped up while each track played in the background before walking off after 5 or 6 songs. Seeing this routine for about 20 minutes was bad enough. Seeing it stretched out for a headline set length would have been damn near torture. Good luck tonight, and I look forward to hearing about your experience on the air. Well, Chris, him headlining and basically selling out the Garden did not change a thing. He just played a track of the songs while he ran around not even performing. He sort of ran around. He smoked a joint at one point, which I'm like, this is all legal now. This is like he's smoking a joint, big deal. Who cares?
Do you know how he got the name A Boogie with the Hoodie?
Yeah, I know, because of some movie.
Yeah, Paid in Full, which we're all big fans of.
If you didn't think that I, Wikipedia'd the man before the show, you have another thing coming.
Yeah.
I do want to. Did you find that clip or no? We don't. You do have it. Oh, look at you. Yeah, go ahead and play it. This clip, you remember this clip?
Oh, how could I forget?
See the people hanging in the bar in the evening on a Thursday night. A little light is shining off the parquet, lets me know everything's alright. Banner 18 makes me feel fine.
And then so in text, Timma says, 18, do you think when Bill Belichick hears this, his mind goes crazy?
Boy, I am seeing more and more photos, more and more articles being posted. And boy, across the board, support for both of these people in this relationship. Everyone thinks it's a great idea, which is nice to see.
Sure. I just don't get why her, if you're going to go all in on this thing now that I've seen more. Just like I said, Hardy, if I got off a boat in Nantucket as a 70-year-old, a rich 70-year-old with a 24-year-old lady, you'd know. Everyone within 50 feet would go, oh, my God, why is she on Nantucket? And I would be like, yep, here we go. like there would be no, debate if it was wrong or not. It would be like, and not because she looked young, because she would look like a fantasy of a sci-fi nerd from 1984. She would look like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? She looked like Victoria Silverstead in full gown.
And if you're wondering about her capabilities and faculties, that would be answered too, because you'd be jingling shiny objects in front of her face to keep her moving and walking forward.
Yeah, she would already be in a bikini, and you would be aware of that as well. It would be like Kanye and his lovely bride. Did you see what she was wearing at that Parents Fashion Week?
Yes, I did.
Manchi.
I don't think it was the case, Fred. But when we saw that photo yesterday, and there was another kind of older, not as old as Belichick, maybe 20, 30 years younger than Belichick, walking, it appeared to be close to them. And I don't think it was, but I do like the idea that that was her father.
When I first saw it, I just assumed it was her father because in that photo, they look exactly the same. Like
And
her and
I
the
thought-
guy looked the same.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like a Priscilla Presley situation where there had to be an escort there for the first couple of meetups and the first couple of trips.
Yeah, I've seen that Priscilla Presley movie, and I always put myself in that position. If, like, Elvis came after my daughter and was, like, that polite to me, and my daughter wanted to go out with him so badly, like, what I would do. That dad was put in a real pickle, I'll tell you that. Really, because, I mean, he had everyone full court pressing him on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very difficult to navigate that. All right. Anyone else got anything, or should I go to break?
You should go to break.
All right. Of course, John doesn't have anything. JON at 98.5 thesportshub.com.
Nothing for you.
Hardy at 98.5 thesportshub.com. You can email Toucher at 98.5 thesportshub.com. You can follow the show at Toucher and Hardy on Instagram and Twitter if you're still on Twitter. And you can follow me at Fred Toucher on Instagram.
I do have one more, Fred.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it is a Travelers Championship related email asking about Michael Torbjornsson, who is a Wellesley high school graduate. He is making his pro debut here at the Travelers. We were going to get him on the show. They moved up the tee times today because of the thunderstorms coming in later, so he had to tee off at 9, or he's teeing off at 9:50. Originally, when he was going to go at 10:50, we were going to have him on the show, but unfortunately that fell through. But we did try and get Michael on the show, and I know people, disappointment. I can sense it. It's my
Are you
gift.
saying that for the benefit of someone standing near you?
No. I'm
Aren't
saying
you
it for
glad we delayed going to break for this?
I'm saying it for the audience members who felt slighted and somehow hurt that we didn't have Michael Torbjornsson on. I'm saying we tried, but they moved up his tee time.
So no one from the tournament is listening to you right now?
No.
Okay, I assure you we were not going to have them on the show.
I take that back. They've all been walking around listening. They were listening at 6 a.m., and they came over to apologize for the leaf blower. So they are listening.
Okay.
But, we're still going to try and get them. Don't you worry, for the golf show on Sunday.
Yeah, that was what was going to happen, everyone, so everyone can relax. You can hear him on the golf show. He was never going to be on this show.
You know what? You're not the boss of Michael Torbjornsson. No.
But this is at least a democracy, and I think that it would have been a solid 5-1 no. Not having this guy on. All right, very good. Young Nicholas.
I think we should vote secret ballot. So I don't want anyone intimidated by you, Fred. Secret ballot vote. We'll do it during the break.
If anyone was going to be the intimidator, I think we all know who it is. And
does Howie get a vote? Howie gets a vote.
Yeah, Howie's with me on this. There's no question about it.
6-1 then.
Me and Howie, yeah, make it 6-1. All right, we'll be right back. We have audio of Nick. He's been talking to people at the parade. That's coming right up.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Celtics won a championship and went to Miami for a day to celebrate, and now comes the main event, a parade through the city. A rolling rally to honor the NBA record 18th championship by the Green begins at 11 a.m. outside of TD Garden. It'll work its way past the Boston Common and end on Boylston Street. We'll continue our coverage of the event coming up next here on your flagship radio station for the Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub. In other NBA news, the Lakers have finally hired J.J. Redick as their new head coach. He has agreed to a 4-year contract worth $32 million. Less than 2 weeks after he promised it was close to happening, Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson did indeed sign his contract extension with the team yesterday. It's a 4-year, $36 million deal with $17 million guaranteed. And the Red Sox had last night off. They pitch Cutter Crawford tonight in Cincinnati against the Reds in the opener of a 3-game series. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by WellPoint, formerly Unicare. They've teamed with Charlie Coyle for First Responder Fridays, so do something kind today to thank our amazing first responders for keeping our community safe. Thank you. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
Out at the Travelers Championship. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And I will tell you this, Nicholas has been out at the parade, and he has talked to the people. Let's hear what the people have to say.
Can we use this for the radio? Hell yeah, you can use it for the radio. You can put it on TV, international, all that. But listen what I'm saying right now.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself, sir. It's just the radio.
But we already have clearances to use it, a multi-platform, so that's good. Better to have it and not need it.
Yeah.
Last time we won was 2008.
Ooh.
Now, 16 years later, we're doing it again, same day.
Math.
And next year and the year after that, I'm full of love. The city doesn't matter if you're black, white, straight, LGBTQ, doesn't matter. We're all here, we're all together, we're all one.
Huh.
I got the feels.
Huh.
Okay, cool. Who are you most excited to see tonight?
The girls.
I was talking about players, but the girls, sure.
They're
absolutely.
cool too, but I'm here for the girls, you know what I'm saying? Oh, who's the kid, number 11, what's his name?
What?
Number 11, what's his name? For the halftime, remember the half-court shot? Caden Pitcher. That's who I want to see.
Who?
Caden Pitcher.
Caden Pitcher. That's who I want to see.
Caden Pitcher.
Who said Caden? Was that
Caden Pitcher? That's who I want to see.
That was Nick. Who's number 11? Look at the fans out there at the parade. I mean, look at these diehard Celtics fans.
What? Number 11, what's his name? For the halftime, remember the half-court shot? Caden Pitcher. That's who I want to see.
Caden Pitchard.
They're out there.
That's who he wants to see.
Yep.
Why not?
Everybody loves a big gathering.
What are you doing today? Well, I'm going to the gathering. Why? Rub up against girls?
Well, let me ask you something. Remember Handsome Ralph? That was for the parade. That was for the Bruins parade, too, if I remember right.
Who knows?
Okay, all right, cool.
That was like, when he made that shot, I was like, yeah, we're winning.
What time did you get down here?
I got here at 7.
Okay. Did you pregame at all?
I'm high off life right now.
Oh, that's great. Awesome.
You know what? I had a good feeling when they were that they were going to win that game when it started. Hey, Nicholas.
Hello.
What's number 11's name?
Hayden Pritchard. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry.
All right, pull him down. Pull him down.
Oh.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's Nicholas talking to more people at the parade.
Can we use this for the radio?
I don't see why not.
All right.
Oh, Jesus. Douchebag.
All right. No, but I just wanted you to know, I think fast, and I thought about it for a second. I don't see why not. Okay, let's go. Shoot. What do you got for me? Shoot.
All right, Mad Dog.
Can we use this for the radio?
I don't see why not.
All right. Paint a picture. What's going on right now?
All right.
No, why do you keep name checking him? Nick, say paint a picture.
Paint a picture.
Wait, you want me to say paint a picture?
Say paint a
paint
picture.
a picture.
All right, thank you.
Paint a picture.
Bring him
Thank
back
you.
down.
Paint a picture. What's going on right now?
All right. We've been here waiting our freaking lives out since 2008, right? And here we are, biggest city of all time with the biggest fans of all time. It don't even matter.
You're right about one of those things.
It don't even matter?
No, that they got the biggest fans of all time.
Yeah.
Biggest city of all time with the biggest fans of all time.
I don't know. Maybe Milwaukee.
It don't even matter. We're here to win, and we're going to double Pete. We're going to hit time. It don't even matter.
Who are you most excited to see? You have to pick one.
I'm a big Brown guy. I've been a Brown guy from the start.
All right.
I watched him in Georgia. He was a freaking beast.
Okay, well, none of that happened.
No, it's not really. Yeah.
I'm
about 3,000
high
miles away.
schooling? Did he go high school in Georgia?
Yes, he did.
Oh, well, listen, touche.
All right,
maybe he knows more than we do. Nick, does he know more than we do?
Probably, yeah, maybe.
That's not hard to do. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Why is my thing not working and yours is? If I pull this down, why can I still hear him? This board's just a fraudulent board that I have here. All right, here we go.
What's your name?
The guy from Machine, hopefully.
Oh, my God.
Are they playing the Bear song by Tom Goss? Oh, all of a sudden, Pride Parade broke out.
What's your name? You can jump in.
Yo,
What's your name?
Kiz, K-I-Z-Z, Banner 18, baby.
I gotta ask, can we use this for the radio?
Of course. I swear, family friendly. Family friendly.
All right, how you feeling?
I'm here with Trigger B, with Amos. No government, sorry. 2 hours, baby.
All right, so I was in a Uber yesterday going. This is true. I should have said
With
this
this guy, you shared one?
No, this is why I remember it. So I'm in an Uber with my daughter, her friend, and me. They're in seventh grade. They go, where? He goes, the driver's like an older guy. He's older than me. He's like probably late 50s, but he's like tatted up and stuff. And he goes, nice guy. He goes, where are you going? And I go, I'm going to concert. He goes, are you going to Fenway? I go, no, I'm going to the Garden. He goes, oh, you're going to a Boogie with the Hoodie. And I go, yeah, how'd you know that? And he goes, oh, my son, he's a rapper. He goes hard, though. And I go, oh, yeah? He goes, yeah. And he brings up Spotify. He plays his kid. His kid's in federal penitentiary for shooting someone.
Okay.
I'm not sure that was appropriate for the young ladies. Now, listen, I don't mind the N-word a lot. Nor do I mind talking about raping. But both those things happened, and he played it loud. I swear on a stack of Bibles that happened. He goes, you're going to, A Boogie with the Hoodie. And he goes, yeah. He's like, my son's a rapper. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, he's in federal prison. He gets out in 2 years, though, so it's all right. I go, oh, yeah. He goes, yeah, it was like a revenge thing. I go, oh, okay. And then he goes, but he goes hard. And I go, all right. And he goes, yeah, I'll play it. And he played it off his phone. It was on Spotify. Like, the guy's legit. It wasn't, like, necessarily bad. But it was, when he said he goes hard, he meant hard subject matter, killing, raping.
Not Run DMC as opposed to Will Smith hard.
No,
this is like a different level.
He wasn't talking about hard times of spreading like the flu. He didn't say, homeboy, don't let him touch you. He was, I can't believe it took me this long to mention this. He was playing at maybe 3/4 volume from the very top, like modern day, like what NWA was in 1988, this is in 2024. God. Like, it couldn't have been dirtier.
Sir, I'm happy your son, and I'm happy for his imminent release in 2 short years. This is wildly inappropriate for both me and my daughter and her friend.
I actually,
please,
didn't mind.
I
I didn't particularly care they were hearing it. I mean, they were going to this A Boogie with the Hoodie show anyway. So I knew they were going to hear all these words. I was a little surprised the Uber driver comfortable playing it in front of 2 13-year-old girls. I did find that odd. And
he's proud of his son, who's an artist.
Oh, he's very proud of his son, and he didn't know I was in radio or anything either. So I'm not quite sure why he wanted me to hear it in particular. But he played it, and it took 35 minutes to get to the Garden, and that played for 20 of those minutes. We got through 4 or 5 songs. Boy, there were songs about straight up rape. Now, my daughter and her friend were not paying attention as they were on their own phone, trying to make videos.
Right.
But if I was an Uber driver, as much as you might think I don't have social awareness, I wouldn't have played that in front of 13-year-old girls. I gave him 5 stars, though. Didn't tip him. Gave him 5 stars, though. I figured I can't tip the guy, right? He played his son's music at full volume.
No. Oh, I'd be afraid to give him anything less than 5 stars.
I gave him 5 stars.
No, it's
of course.
the extra cash at the back end.
I don't think that deserves a tip.
No.
At that point. I mean, I have to be honest with the man. I mean, that was highly inappropriate.
That's a wrap. Trig, let him know.
Wait. I will let you know.
He's the speaker.
Who are you excited to see tonight?
Hey, and Pritchard. Excited.
And then I want to see Derek White. I want to say, how much for the rest of that tooth?
All right, these guys are boring. Hey, Nick.
Yeah, hi.
Are you excited you won't have to get recaps again for a very, very long time?
I'm pretty excited about it, yeah absolutely. It's been a long few weeks.
Yeah, you've been working hard, and now you get to ease off a little bit. Just concentrate on them articles.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be pushing those out fast.
Do we know how many views Tyler Milliken's cousin has on Instagram?
I feel like it's 77,000 views so far.
We're pretty stalled out. Oh, because we were at 60 when we made the pledge.
Well, I got a text from Tyler Milliken's cousin about an hour ago. He said already got some recognition and some audio. So he's down there working it. He's set up on the patio at Rochambeau.
With his parents.
His grandma's just kicking him in the nuts.
Well, yeah, I told you that a friend of mine offered him a spot there yesterday, and he said yes, and I text back, yes, he would love that for him and his grandma, and then Tyler Milliken's cousin immediately said, can my parents come too? So that's what you really like. When someone offers you a really nice reservation, you want to double it in size after you accept it, and then have to text that person back and say, yeah, can you actually make that for 4? And had to, wait, watching the ... bubble on the text screen. But yes, apparently they all got in, and he's out there, getting some audio and getting recognition, which is what he really wants.
Hardy, but he's a college kid. Of course he wants to bring his parents and his grandma. And by the way, no one got the Rochambeau thing except for Dan, and that's a sad way to get into the weekend. All right, everyone, Hardy, enjoy yourself. Safe travels back, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Golf show at 7 is going to be a real situation.
It's going to be a real situation, and just very quickly, Fred, in all sincerity, if you miss having a golf tournament near Boston, this is a great take. I've never been to this thing live before. It's a great setup, and people will be thrilled at how easy it is and how awesome it is once you're here. So if you're looking for something to do for the weekend, Travelers Championship. Took me an hour and 20 from Boston to get here in Cromwell, Connecticut.
All right, very good.
Have
Enjoy
fun.
yourself. Everyone, if you're going to the parade, enjoy yourself. Stay safe. That'll do it for us. Tyler Milliken's cousin. Oh, that audio is going to be something. Him, his mom, his dad, and his grandma. That'll do it for us. Bye.